Hey, everybody, what's going on? Rob Cesternino back here with Patroncast number 47, as we are here live on a Zoom.us conference call, which I got to be honest is not working great. Worked great last month. I was so excited to get back here. Felt like boom, 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 easy peasy. And for whatever reason, did not like the HD stream coming out of my nice webcam. Had no problem with it last month, and this month it was like, I can't. And so we're back to old crappy Logitech webcam USB. Boo. And so that's where we're at right now. So we're gonna, but look, we will persevere. We will. The show must go on. That's what you guys are paying to be patrons for. So you want a show. I want to do a show. We got a Survivor 24 hours away. So much going on in the world of Rob as a podcast. I mean, just what a week we've had where we came to the end of the Amazing Race season, got through 2.5 weeks of crazy celebrity Big Brother. Survivor is coming up tomorrow. Corinne and Dr. Mike podcast dropping on the same day. One of our patrons is going to be on the upcoming season of Survivor, and we just learned that another one of our patrons is looking like she is going to be in the celebrity, or so the Canadian, not celebrity yet, Canadian Big Brother house. So everything is going on. Matt in the chat is asking, where is Scott St. Pierre? First off, it's Scott St. Pierre's birthday tonight, so happy birthday to Scott St. Pierre. Unfortunately, he is not out celebrating or partying. He's at a work function, so maybe later on he will join us for the show. So we will then take your calls. Here's what we're going to do. This is streaming live on YouTube. Can't take your calls from there, but if you are joined in the Zoom chat, we can have 100 people on the call with us. They can ask questions here, either via text, via calling in. I can go ahead and patch you in by voice. I can go ahead and patch you in by also being on the phone. So put you in video. We can do a lot of different things. So this is a cool system when it works. All right. There's a chat there in the Zoom. There's a Zoom chat. There's also I'm following the thread on the Facebook page as well. So let's go ahead and get to our first call. I just talked to her in the sound check. I'm going to allow Carrie, again, raise your hand in the chat for that. So let me go ahead and pop in Carrie.
Hi.
Carrie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very. I'm okay. I'm got a little frustrated with this chat. I really thought I was going to come in here and boom, everything was going to work. But never assume anything. We've had a lot of technical issues over these last couple of weeks with trying to get everything ready. I was so excited for the Big Brother season of like, okay, we're going to work on getting all of our ducks in a row for Celebrity Big Brother, and then we're going to have I think we had like one night where everything worked right, and then since then, it's been a lot of issues. And then I really want to okay, well, Survivor, let's have everything ready. And no, we're still not ready. So
sounds like you need to write a strongly worded email to someone.
So there are a lot of people. I'm going to reply all in a strongly worded email. Okay.
BCC everyone on it.
BCC everybody. Okay. So let me just try to see if let's see if this works better. Okay. All right. So Kara, go ahead. What's going on?
So I'm actually calling because when I listened to the Facebook Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever day of the week it was, Sunday. Cool. I heard my dear friend Brett try to explain Bodeborg to you, and he did an awful job. And so I've also gotten a lot of questions about it for Boston Know-It-Alls, and I figured that a podcast community would best learn about it listening to it. And if you're on the other end of the conversation, people are even more likely to listen to what it's all about. Okay, so I don't have to answer the same question a bunch of times.
Okay, so set this up again. What did Brett try to explain to me, and he did a bad job? Okay,
in Boston on Thursday we're running it, and he mentioned it and about because you're like
okay, so it's not an escape room.
No, and that's exactly the like difference that I wanted to help people make so that they knew what they're getting themselves into when they make their choice.
Okay.
So just a quick explanation is that Bodeborg, it's like there's about 14 different rooms, and each room has like 2 or 3 levels. So you go in with 3 to 5 people, and you can mix up your 3 to 5 people every time. So it's not like you, me, and let's say Edmo are a group forever. We can add 2 people, we can have 4, whatever it may be. And each room has like a different theme, and it's just you're trying to get through the different levels. So like if you fail the first level, there's a door where you leave, and you just like you can either jump back in line, go to one of the other quests, and just try to get through as many as you can.
Okay.
So it's not like an escape room where you're going in with a goal of like open locks, find clues, do whatever it may be. Like there was like a mini ninja warrior course on one of the rooms that I went to. There was one where like it was straight quiz stuff. There's some where it's like some logic, some problem solving, some physical. Like there's definitely the whole spectrum of types of rooms. And so you're able to like move around all the 14 rooms for however long you want to be in them.
Okay. Now, what is this called again?
Bodeborg. Your boy Miles. Yeah, BODA.
Yes.
Space BORG.
Bodeborg.
Yes, it's happening on Thursday in Boston.
Okay.
And I'm in charge of running it, which is why I wanted to explain it, since I think I might be the only person besides like Miles Nye who's gone.
Yes.
He definitely gave it the seal of approval. So
okay,
if that doesn't give some background on it, then I don't know what will.
Is that at 1 o'clock? What time is that on Thursday?
So we said 1 so that people can go to brunch, but I think a few of us are planning on getting there closer to 12 so that if you want to get there earlier, because you can either pay to be there for 2 hours, or if you pay an extra like $11, you can stay there for as long as you want.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I booked my flight for 6:30 that night, so I'm in.
Say no more. We'll see you there.
Yes. Okay. All right. Well, excited about that.
Yeah, it's definitely different, and it's like the only one in the United States. The rest are from like in Sweden, and I think there's one in Ireland. So not saying to not go to the escape room, but escape rooms are all over, where like this is literally the only one in America. Right. So you might as well
do the Bodeborg.
Yes.
Okay. The Borg are a little scary.
A little scary?
Yeah.
I wouldn't call any of them scary. There's like one spider themed room that I was in, but it didn't have actual spiders. Right. That's probably, and if you're afraid of spiders, that's the scariest.
Yeah,
thing.
Don't resist.
Yeah,
it would be futile.
Never say no. Keep going.
Right. Okay. All right. So I'll just assimilate into the whatever you guys are doing.
Yeah, follow the lead. It'll be fine. Okay. You'll make your way through.
Okay. All right. Karen. Do you live in Boston?
I do.
Okay. All right. So you said, okay, this is the spot.
This is, I've gone once, and the only reason we left was because my friend's girlfriend was so like hungry and angry that we just couldn't tolerate her anymore. Like, all right, we gotta go. So we spent a while there. I think that this group of people will definitely enjoy it, and would love to be there.
Okay. All right. We'll check it out.
Right. I also have one last thing. I feel obligated to just be like, what's up, Kirsten? Way to go, girl. Proud of my girl gang for doing big things with her life.
Yeah, it's very exciting, right?
Yeah, there's a group of us that play a game. I don't know if you know this game, but
is it a Bodeborg?
No, but we won't make it happen at Bodeborg. But there's a group of us that play this game that we're really happy because now, she's one of us. Mm-hmm. One of us. One of us.
No, the whole Kirsten thing is very exciting. I just was like really pumped up the other night, that it all came together, and just to see everybody like genuinely excited, here's somebody that people know especially well. And I felt a little bit like, because Laurel, who's a patron, also is going to be on this upcoming season of Survivor, but that, Kirsten just has such a high profile in the patron group, where so many people have really come to know her over the years. And I think it's fair to say that Laurel has not had as high of a profile as Kirsten in the patron group and at the events and whatnot, and, you know, calling into shows like this. So many people feel like, hey, this is somebody I know, my friend is going to be on the show, and just having so many people excited for somebody that they know, I thought that was a really cool thing, because to just have, you don't have that many times in life where, you know, strangers are genuinely happy for you, or not necessarily strangers, but people that, you know, are outside of your immediate circle are just like really excited for something that's going on for you. Because a lot of times people, will, when you have something good happen, you know, people aren't always thrilled for you.
Yeah, and Jenny and I of the Wandoff fame are collecting nice things that people have said over like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. So if anyone has something that they want to send our way to add to that collection we've already started, we'll definitely take it. You can message either Jenny or I.
Yeah. Okay. That's really cool that you guys are doing that.
We try our best. Got to support the girl gang.
Yeah. No, it's really, it's so weird to have somebody to go do like a show like this, or to do Big Brother, because it's almost like, it's like they're gone, but they're gonna come back. It's, you know, it's weird. It's like you've lost somebody, but they are gonna come back at some point.
We just wanted to be able to see like how many nice things people from all over this community were saying about her, because by the time she gets out, after she wins all the money in the Canadian world, that like it's probably gonna be hard to go back 3 months to find like when we saw this commercial of her just looking like a boss with all those flames.
That is a great picture.
That we wanted to just kind of like have it so that when things settle, be like, all these people had so many cool, dope things to say about you, and just so she can like go back to it whenever she wants.
Okay. Well, I'm sure everybody are going to get a lot of calls about this tonight. So I have more to say, but I'll try to
save it for the other ones.
Yeah, save some for everybody else. All right, Carrie, thanks so much for the call. Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. All right. Okay. Let me go ahead and send Carrie back to the bullpen. All right. So we covered, where's Scott St. Pierre? Somebody wants to know an anonymous question. We'll go back and forth. What's the story behind the CBS Backyard interviews? Did CBS ghost you? Yeah, you know, it was last Patroncast. I talked about how excited I was that I was doing the CBS Backyard interviews, and ultimately they never posted them. We've talked about this on a couple of the different podcasts, but the official story I got was that they felt like the people were a little too low energy. You know, you got like Meta World Peace saying he threw the DVDs in the garbage can, and Keisha doesn't seem super excited to be there talking about going into the house. Both of these people quit the game. So they weren't like race. They're like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Big Brother. So I don't know. And then we didn't have an Omarosa interview. So I feel like it was more, you know, I'll buy what they're telling me, but really, who the hell knows the reason? I do think that there is a chance that they call me to do stuff for Big Brother 20 preseason, but who knows? Who knows what they go on to do? Like, I don't know if I'm bumped now and they'll call like Ross Matthews, or if they'll go in just a completely different direction. So it's just hard to tell. It's like you got broken up with, or you got sort of, I don't know if ghosted is the right word, but you just don't know, was it me? Was it, I need the love know-it-alls to tell me what's going on. Okay. Let's try Megan, who has her hand up. Okay. Megan, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes. Which Megan is this?
This is Megan Elizabeth.
Okay. Megan Elizabeth.
Yes.
Yes. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm sorry you had so many tech issues when we got on here.
Yeah, I was just really disappointed. I want things to be really cool for you guys. I worked, you know, really hard on setting everything up, and you know, I'd like to feel like improvement. And it kills me. It's like a knife. Then when I see, why didn't we just do it the old way? We're trying to make progress here, but
right.
I don't know why we're done in where it was like I used it last month and it was fine, but if I turned on the HD video, then it was like all stretched out, and even on the YouTube video was choppy coming from the camera, And then like, I don't know, just for whatever reason tonight, it was just didn't want to take any video from my, nice camera.
Right.
Whatever.
So,
Who cares? Most people listen to the podcast anyway.
So, obviously I'm going to continue with the headline of the night, which is Kirsten on BB Can. And I just wanted to ask you, yes, ding, ding. Did you know ahead of time, or did you have any inkling that she was going to be on?
Did I know?
I mean, can you you can give me like an answer like Ben Driebergen gave you in
I don't know what I don't want to get anybody in trouble
okay, that's fine. You don't have to say anything
this
else.
Time.
You don't have to say anything else.
I don't remember if I knew or not.
That answers the question. Thank you.
I
but did you know she was applying and everything for the season?
Well, I had known how close she had gotten last year to go on the show. Let me talk about Big Brother 5. And okay. I had known that she had gotten very far into the mix for Big Brother Canada 5, and then was cut at the very late stages of casting. So she had a very close call. And this is not dissimilar to what happened to me when I applied to be on Big Brother 3. I thought I was going to be on the show. They cut me and then called me a few months later for Survivor. And I believe the same thing happened to Jordan Parhar, where he was very much in the mix for Big Brother Canada 2, and they didn't take him, and they called him for Big Brother Canada 3. So that that going back a year, she was very close to getting on Big Brother Canada 5, and was very disappointed to have been cut that late in the season. And then was, I think, not too happy to hear that the show had been canceled. So,
that must have been on
hiatus.
Yeah.
So I think then she was very happy to hear that the show had was coming back for a 6th season. So I think that and she was, if I recall, I think that she was really very active in sending that petition around. And
she was.
Yes. If anybody, and she had said that she had gotten everybody in her office to sign the petition. So, I'm really glad that there was some synergy here with, we made a big push to bring the show back, and she ends up being one of the main beneficiaries from it. And would be a real, then feel like that if then she goes on to win, I feel like that there should be at least like she should go to the highest level of being a patron, I think.
Oh yeah.
I feel like that would only be fair.
Yeah, no, definitely.
For at least for a couple months.
Yeah. The thing that we've talked about this a little bit in the patron group too, but I think it's just going to be so hard because obviously like we're already all like very protective of her as her friends, obviously.
Yes.
And so, I tweeted something today. I said something like, people can come for her game. I'm sure Edmo is going to be doing that all on his own on Twitter and stuff like that. It's just, I know how the Big Brother community can be.
I know it's gonna be hard, but this is what everybody has to remember. And again, this isn't like me telling everybody gets to do what they want, but let me just say that this is the official standpoint of Rob has a PR firm.
Give me some sage advice.
Okay, in the patron group, and this goes for Laurel too. I'm sorry, we should be as excited as we want inside the walls of the patron group. We should be celebrating, she should win an HOH, a veto, come down off the block, have a great moment. Everybody, we should be going, as crazy as can be. But I do feel like to the outside world, like I think that we should not go on offense and go into full curse Stan mode in the outside world, because it will make people dislike her. And I think if you go back and remember to last fall when Rourke was going to be on Survivor, I think that there were some people who knew Rourke from ATF, who loved Rourke from ATF. And I think Rourke is fantastic also. She's going to be in here to do a podcast with me in a couple of weeks. She's been on like 3 or 4 different wrap-ups. You know, I met her in Chicago before she was ever on the show. But I think that some people ended up, if they had a bias against Max and Corinne going in, it's like, oh, well, now I'm rooting against this person because I don't like that. I don't like Max and Corinne, so I don't like Rourke. And I'm now, so she ended up having some hater, and not many, but there were people that didn't like Rourke for nothing that Rourke went on and ended up doing.
Right.
So I would hate for Kirsten to end up walking out of the house to people who hate her for nothing that she did on her own. People, because there are people that you know, that look, there's a lot of people in the Big Brother world who are genuinely unhappy, people on, you know, who, you know, trolls and whatnot, and people who will like, oh, those people are so happy. Oh, I'm sick of hearing about her. And so the more, you know, people are, you know, jumping down somebody's throat on, you know, again, and she's so tough. You know, I think that she would not want people, like, I think she would be, you know, she wouldn't want people to get into fights with other people over her. I think that she'd be a little bit more like, you know, whatever, hey, be cool. I think that's probably more along the lines of what she would want. And I just think that we should try not to go too overboard in support, you know, support her, but don't go, you know, I think that you don't need so much to defend her, because I think that she doesn't need defending.
Yeah, that's good advice. And I talk like I'm gonna like get in a Twitter fight with someone. I've never been in a Twitter fight or like an actual fight that got out of hand like in my entire life. So I'm very generally peaceful person. So I don't think I would be getting in any fights. But
and the closest parallels to all this stuff is like, you know, obviously, you know, Jordan went and played in Big Brother Canada 3, but for the most part, we didn't really know Jordan before we got to really know Jordan after he played in Big Brother Canada 3. It's like, hey, did you know this guy Jordan is actually a big fan? And he talked about the podcast on the feeds, but and I had done a call with him, and you know, he had been like, I knew his name, but I didn't really know him in the way that we have somebody in Kirsten who's been on, you know, like a regular fixture on these different call-in shows for 2 years or whatever. And where, you know, I've probably, you know, talked to her, you know, 30, 40 times on these different shows. And so that's what's really so exciting about this. Probably the closest that we have is like when Steven went back, but that was a different situation where not only did Steven go back, but a bunch of people we knew went back, and like Spencer, who was very active with the podcast, had gone back, and it was like we felt like we knew a lot of people in that season. Nobody as well as Steven, but that is the, you know, a different situation. And look, for all we know, there could be somebody else that is like a familiar name in the cast.
Yeah. And I think just for me, I'm just so excited because through like obviously like Skype and the games and everything, I've like, I tell some people, I'm like, I think I've spent more time with Kirsten over the last 6 months virtually via Skype than I have with like friends I've known for years.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things where you like really get to know people. And she's been such a big part of this community. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited for the season to start. So it should be a lot of fun. Are you doing like exit press or anything?
So we again, I don't know how much of this is but
if you can't talk about it, that's fine.
So here's what let me say what so we are scheduled to do something, but I do not believe we will have any pregame press with the contestants. We did that for Big Brother Canada 5. And that was an all-star season, but I don't know if we'll do that again over the phone. As far as I understand, what we are doing is potentially some interviews with prominent production people sometime early next week, but I don't believe we are going to have pregame press. And also my thought on this is since the Big Brother press day is Friday, which is usually I'm pretty much in the Survivor loop, is that that may be something that falls to Taryn to do Big Brother Canada exit press, just because it's so tough for me to stay on top of everything and then also get all the Survivor podcast stuff going between Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's just a bad day of the week for me.
Yeah, I assume Taryn will be doing the daily updates like usual.
That's the plan as of right now. Still some kinks to work out.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll let you talk to someone else. I have the challenges on it in like 10 minutes anyway, and I have to do my Twitter duties. So
okay. All right. Meg, take care, okay?
All right, take care, Rob.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
All right. So let's go back to a text question. Let's see. Let's see if we have anything that's LFC Big Brother Canada 6, it's all Big Brother Canada stuff nonstop. Let's see. Okay, here's an anonymous question, and let me try. Anonymous attendee wants to, Rob, will you be able to be unbiased towards Kirsten's gameplay in Big Brother Canada 6? Yeah, I think so. I mean, I feel like I was pretty unbiased about Stephen Fishback back in Survivor Second Chances, to the point where he was furious after the first episode of Survivor Second Chances about the stick. So, yeah, I think so. I mean, go back and listen to the podcast from Big Brother Canada 3. I think that we were, pretty down on, Jordan towards his eviction. And I think that we I guess the difference here is going to be that, I'm more afraid of some of you guys than what Kirsten is going to say when she comes out of the house. Like, how can you say that about me? I don't want you guys to turn on me. But I think I'd say, I don't know. I don't know if she's making the right move here right now. But, I think we'll be able to, ride that line between, good and bad, and if she's doing something wrong. I think I think that you guys follow this stuff so closely. I don't think I'd be able to. I think that we all have a pretty good sense of, like, there might be things that are up for debate, but I think we'll be able to probably know if she's doing well and if she's not doing well, or if she's getting lucky and moving on, or headed towards a big problem. All right. I'm sure that this is a special occasion. Let me get to Edmo here. I know he's so excited.
Hello, Rob.
Yes, Edmo. How are you? Do you want to be on video?
Sure.
Okay. Here, hold on. Let me move Edmo to a panelist. Promoting Edmo to a panelist, and then he should pop in here. And let's see. Edmo. Okay.
Why is the video not working?
I think you got to turn it on.
There we go.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Because it says you cannot start your video because the host has stopped it.
What? What? Okay. All right. Why did I stop Edmo's video? Okay. How about this? Can I turn it on, or who knows, Edmo? Yeah. All right. Whatever. We can hear Edmo. We know what he looks like.
How
you doing?
Rob, do you know who took that Facebook profile picture of me and you on Facebook?
Yeah. Kirsten.
That's right.
Yes. 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 No, I remember. I mean, she was very fun in Toronto. That I was happy that we got a chance to hang out at that. Well, I don't know if that was at the first night or the second night that we were at the bar.
The first night was the night that I was not going over, and then you took the picture with my back facing.
Yes, no, you seemed like you were upset that first night, but I'm glad that we were able to take it the second night.
Yep, that's like, people keep saying, "Oh, did you have to sign papers?" Like, Kirsten's my friend, but I'm gonna be real, and she knows it.
Yes, nobody would expect anything else.
If anyone's gonna drag her on Twitter, it's gonna be me.
Yes. So, did you have any idea, Edmo?
Actually, I started putting the pieces together. I don't remember if it was Tuesday or Wednesday, and I messaged Jenny, and I was like, Jenny, did you know this?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I had no idea. How the hell did you figure this out? And then, that's where it went.
And I think she did a good job of not really tipping her hand.
I did know about her making it far last year.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I really didn't know anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the thing, if I was gonna say anything to anybody going through that, I'd say, and again, just remember, like, that they'll drop you at the drop of a hat. So don't get too excited until you're in the in the actual house. Like, always keep that in the back of your mind.
Exactly. I was talking to Brett about that, and Brett's like, yeah, that's not a thing. I was like, Brett, let her get in the house and then say that's not a thing.
No, it's a thing. Unfortunately. Yeah, that is the thing. Now, I'm even a little worried now. That's why I'm a little bit like, I don't know if the game started yet.
I mean, they featured her in the commercial. Are they really going to take her out?
Edmo, that crazy things have happened.
I guess.
Yeah. So you never know. You never know.
Yeah. So do you think this vote is going to be the heaven or hell thing, or do you think we're voting someone in?
Yeah, so there is some sort of voting component going on with something with this Canadian Big Brother, and I don't know exactly what it's going to be. I think that it's going to be more of because I think it's hard to vote on just random people where obviously we have a favorite in the house, but I think it's going to be more along the lines of, do you want good things to happen to the house, or do you want bad things to happen to the people in the house? Like, I feel like it'll be more along those lines of, like, how do we torment them, and what torture do we send to them?
Yeah, I think that's probably right.
Yeah. People saying like Opposite Worlds, where Opposite Worlds was necessarily like, that was more of the heaven and hell twist, like Survivor Fiji, where the team that won ended up getting an advantage. But this is sort of like, we have the choice. Will we vote for good things or vote for bad things? I think there'll be a temptation for us to say, hey, everybody, vote for the house to be nice, vote for heaven. But I think that'll really make the rest of the Big Brother fan base really come to dislike us.
If they don't already dislike us already.
Probably, I mean, yeah. They hate us because they ain't us, Edmo. No.
Exactly.
But yeah, I just that I feel very bad that if she gets haters because of people that don't like RHAP, where if somebody is a fan of a different podcast or a different, like, RHAP, I hate this person because she's with RHAP. And I feel very bad about that. I don't want anybody to give somebody else, for lack of a better term, to somebody to get shit because they are somehow affiliated with what I do. That's
very fair.
Yeah. So that's why this is very much on my mind. I'm like, hey, let's not antagonize the haters.
Let's not stoke the flames.
Right. Like, sort of like rub it in everybody's face that, somebody that we know is on the season.
Exactly. And if anything bad happens to her, she's just going to blame it on me anyway. So it's all good.
Blame it on Edmo. Because I do think that she'd be a very popular player without us. I really think that she has sort of like it will be sort of like a Cassandra, where she is somebody who is going to have both things, where she is going to like be able to know how to play the game, but then also be able to be really compelling and interesting in the diary room, and not just be like a bump on a log like a lot of the people that end up getting into the house.
Not for nothing, Rob, but when I heard that they switched from full cast of newbies to half and half, Cassandra may have taken her place.
That's possible. Yeah, that's possible. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see. But this is very exciting, Edmo.
Rob, the real reason why I called is because there's a debate. What hashtag should everyone go with?
Okay, what are the nominees? I'll do a poll.
people are calling themselves Kirstans.
Okay.
There's All In on Kirsten.
Yeah.
And then there's Thurston for Kirsten.
Yeah.
Those were the big ones that I have seen.
Yeah. Well, what else is new? My polling is not working right now, so we'll have to get the tabulator to work on that. But that being said, then I think Kirstan is the most novel and cleanest, simplest thing. So I would go with that.
So we're the Kirstans.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good.
Okay,
that's inspired to me.
Okay.
I think shorter the better.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, I like it. Okay,
sounds good, Rob.
All right, Edmo. All right, I'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Can't wait till I could start dragging her on these shows and then her coming back and listening and be like, oh, what a surprise.
Yeah. Look, hopefully we'll get a good 75 days out of this.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Take care.
Bye, Rob.
Bye. All right. All right, we're gonna remove Edmo. Okay. So let's see if I have any other questions. I feel we talked about the CBS Big Brother interviews. Am I gonna be covering Big Brother Canada 6? That's from Tyler with this on the same night on Survivor. So there's one night during the week where there's Big Brother Canada and Survivor, where Big Brother Canada is on right before. And so I plan on doing a Monday night recap. I think we may have no recap on Wednesday night, and Taryn can cover it as part of the Thursday morning show. And then Taryn will be live after the evictions on Thursday nights. Okay. So let's go back to the attendees and let's see who has a call. Let's try Miriam. Let's bring Miriam in. Miriam, are you there?
No, I'm Dan.
Oh, Dan. Okay, I'm sorry, Dan. Okay, which Dan is this?
Dan Sinensky.
Oh, Dan Sinensky. How are you?
I've been all right. I've been pretty mean recently. When you said you were having trouble, I said, "Hey, Sesternino, smarten up." And then I felt bad immediately afterward.
Yes.
And I apologize. So sorry about that, Rob.
Okay, let me just see. Miriam, are you unmuted also?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Oh, twofer.
Right on.
Yes. Okay.
I'm technologically challenged also. So
look, nothing. It's one of those nights. Nothing is working right. But happy to have you both with me. Miriam, how are you?
great. I'm excited to have a three-way here. Right on. You guys.
What is this? The Love Know-It-Alls? Yeah.
Yeah.
Dr. Mike would be pleased.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I went to go for Miriam. So let me go to Miriam first, and then Dan. But feel free to weigh in. Miriam, what's going on?
Very thankful and happy to be here, Rob. I have to thank you so much. You've just been such a godsend in my life, and I was drunk off Brandy Glanville's wine the other night, so I decided to become a patron. So I'm very excited. Thank you.
Yes, good. Well, happy to have you here. And I am, well, I don't like to put these things out into the universe until they are a reality. But I am working with Podcast One behind the scenes of trying to get something together with Brandy Glanville, who is also one of the fellow Podcast One hosts. Ross Matthews also used to podcast, and I know people talk about Ross Matthews and Brandy Glanville. I mean, that for all intents and purposes, that was probably the Podcast One alliance. That his show used to be on Podcast One. I think it's on another network, another podcast network now, but I'm sure that's probably how they ended up.
Ross forgiven us though, Ross. I mean, all these Ross stanzas have been like giving death threats to my king, besides you, Brent. You know, it's like I'm Team Brent for life. I'm part of the Brent Army, and I was really shocked when I was in like the LFC roundtable the other night. All these trolls were in there attacking Brent and Taryn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not down with that. I love Ross.
Yeah, I don't really get it. I don't know why. I mean, Brent, I felt like was really supportive of Ross. I mean, did they like it? What is is the feeling like because Brent as a gay man needed to just be 100% have Ross's back no matter what happened?
I think they're jealous that Brent stole his life. I mean, Brent is the king of Big Brother and Ross is not as relevant. That's what I'm thinking. It is like
Probably.
And Brent is a top. We know all Brent's stories from the Karen show, and maybe they're jelly of Brent. That's all I can guess, because Brent didn't do anything wrong. He drafted Ross. He's been very favorable to Ross. I was very confused.
Dan, you buying all that?
I mean, I haven't like watched the show and I haven't followed the podcast entirely, but maybe Brent wasn't like entirely supportive of Ross. Like he was unbiased, and maybe they didn't like that he didn't have a complete pro Ross bias.
Yeah, I don't know. Look,
real, I thought. I mean, he didn't say anything bad. Brent goes off sometimes, but that's why we love him. He's hysterical. You know, Brent Unleashed is fabulous, but I mean, I have no idea why that happened, but whatever. Brent is such a big guy that he can smooth it over, I'm sure. Brent's good at that stuff, like he was during the Brenchel cast. And I loved the Brenchel cast, and I wanted to say I was really upset that people had a baby, because I'm a mother. I mean, people have kids. Life happens.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up, Miriam. Yeah, I was thinking about that today, and I was if I had to do it over again, I think I should have asked them. You know, I think that if I was gonna do, like critique myself based on the feedback that I've gotten, and I've gotten so much feedback that I definitely feel like that I should have handled it differently. I mean, I was sort of like putting myself. I'm sorry.
I think you guys were great, you and Brent, during it. It was the people in chat that upset me.
We got a lot of feedback on that, and when there's so much feedback, you know, again, I always look for, you know, what's the kernel of truth, and I think what I should have said to them is like, hey, do you guys need a minute? Do you guys want to get settled? And like, I should have like offered them the opportunity to have a pause.
Brought your kids in and Nicole and had more kids, and if people have a problem with kids, get used to it. Kids happen. There's kids, they make noise. I thought the baby wasn't even that loud. And, you know, the thing is, they tried to put the baby to bed, obviously.
Right.
The baby didn't go to bed. And then they were caught in a position of like, okay, we scheduled a podcast, and it's either have them on the show with the baby in the background, tired, and you know how that works, or cancel. And they troopered through it. So it's like, I wish people would just give them a break. It was, they were being very rude. And it was like, the baby wasn't even that bad. You know how kids are.
Yeah.
I have a son, you have sons. You know how much they make noise. Their baby was good. They're rude, you know?
Yeah. Look, I know. I used to be one of those people like, you know, get on an airplane and then I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm on a plane with a baby. And now I get on an airplane and there's a kid crying. It's like, I sympathize with the parent of like, oh my God, everybody must be wanting.
Headphones. If you would have put Rachel and Brendan on headphones, I think that would have solved the problem. I think the problem was maybe if she had like a pair of headphones that were wireless or something, but the problem was she was using like what I'm on right now is, you know, regular, and you could hear all the sound in the background. If you just had them on headphones, it'd be fine. The baby was loud.
Also, if they had like a good microphone that would have just like picked up what was there, but the microphone was picking up things that were really far away because of the microphone.
People have babies, and we can't be like, okay, if their baby's up, you know, let's chain the baby to the crib. And I mean, just come on, you know, it's like evolve a little bit. You know, in Europe and other places, babies are part of the workforce. Babies happen. I myself get annoyed by babies too. I don't really like the sound, but I love Brenchel so much that it's like, what a treat I thought it was to see that beautiful baby.
Well, and there again, I think people were frustrated that they didn't feel like that I was proactive, like, because I got a lot of emails. Rob, you were unprofessional. That you had
very professional, and Brent was too.
Yes, yeah, because I thought that Brent really met his match with the baby. Yes. I thought I was laughing. I was enjoying Brent trying to make a point, and the baby being like,
Brent loves Brenchel too. So Brent, you know, you couldn't have had a better co-host. Because Brent would never say a bad thing about them, like me. You know, we're all on the same page.
But you know, Brenchel was lucky that they were Brenchel, because that would have been like some other couple that
Corinne Kaplan. If Corinne Kaplan was your co-host that night, oh my God.
Yeah.
I would pay to watch that.
Yeah. So. No, good points all around. Yeah, and I really feel like, you know, there are times I feel like that Brent might be a little out there with something.
No. He's great.
But I thought he was very fair all the way through Celebrity Big Brother. I don't think that he had a bad take about Ross at all, and I don't think that he was.
No, it was just a good gameplay. It was game meets game, or game recognizes game. What's the quote? And that's what Brent was doing. He was always team Ross, and so it's like I don't even know what upset them. I think there's just weird people out there that get upset if you don't say Ross is number one. Go Ross.
Yeah.
I think Brent got dignitized by James. Let's face the fact.
Hello. I didn't hear this take.
You didn't. Yeah.
So I do feel like that people were, or it seemed like that we reached a tipping point the other night when, and I had agreed with Brent that it was like, oh, if Ross is going to get a backlash from the LGBTQ community if he takes Omarosa to the final two, and I was like, why? I wasn't following that, and that was when Ross's boyfriend weighed in and said, absolutely, Ross's friends would be mad if he took Omarosa to the final two. But then, well, why was he allowed to be in the house with her? Why was he allowed to be why weren't they
taking her? If he could, he would have won. I don't know. I think Omarosa.
Yeah, why didn't he put her on the block if this was so important? Well, why? I don't understand why the line in the sand was if he goes to the final two with her, that's it. But if he didn't, why? If it was why not vote her out at every single chance? Why be friends with her after the show? I'm sure that if she'll come on his podcast, I'm sure he'll have her on. So I didn't understand where this that's the red line. If he takes her to the final two, that's it. Anything else is fine. But if he takes her to the final two, that's it.
They got really upset. And it's funny, Paul, God bless him, friendship. I mean, we were all hard on him. We all turned our backs. A lot of I did, last summer, but he handled it very well. You didn't see Paul attacking anybody. He just took it,
Never cared.
Sorry, my boyfriend called us.
Yeah. Okay.
But Paul, God bless him, and he took all of it. And, I respect Paul even more now, even though I didn't like his game at the time. And I thought he was being a little bit of a bully, but, I'm glad Josh won. But Paul, you don't see Paul with hate. Paul stands hating on, the RHAP community or just.
You don't see Paul stands.
Paul stands. Oh, yeah, you do. I still love Paul. I think he just kind of. It was just an awkward summer. Poor Paul. His ego. He's a short guy. You know how short guys get. Sometimes they have more of an attitude. Oops, sorry. That's my ringtone. It's what's his name from Pulp Fiction. Sorry.
Okay. All right, Miriam. Let me get to Dan and his question, and then you can weigh in on what Dan has to say. So Dan, what's going on?
Just in the vein. Well, first I want to ask, do you think Laurel and Kirsten will be able to assimilate with the other players, or will they be destroyed?
Are they going to be at the Well, hopefully Kirsten won't be at the Know-It-Alls in Boston for the Bada Borg.
Exactly.
Yes.
All right. Now to my real question.
Yes.
So if it does exist, how much is the patron level to get on to a show? And if it doesn't exist, how can you convince people that it does exist?
So you want me to start a patron level that people get to play on a reality show if they are supporters at a certain level?
Or at least a fake patron level, that's extremely high, like the Jay Maslow patron level.
Yes. Okay. No, look, the thing is, and this I try, I used to do a lot of the consulting with people where it's hey, and I used to charge $150 to work with somebody and I'll watch your tape. And I think that people felt okay, well, if I do this, then I'll get on the show. And it's I can help you improve your tape. And which, neither of the people that are currently on one of these shows that had anything to do with their tape. But, I can give you some pointers on your video to sort of get down to, helping you figure out what to put on the video. But I don't want people to feel that if you become a patron, if you do anything, if there's nothing that I can do outside of give you some advice on, what to include and not to include that will help you. I think that some people have thought that, okay, well, if I had did this consulting with Rob, then he'll put in a good word for me with CBS. And that's just not how it works, where, you know, it doesn't. And I wanted to just sort of like always be upfront with people about that, where I can't get you on the show.
Oh yeah, of course. I just think it's really cool how like for a long time there were like no patron. Well, for a long time there were no patrons at all. But then like there were no patrons on any of the shows. Then there was Jordan, and then I don't remember exactly how it was with Zeke, whether he was a patron or not.
Yeah,
then,
Zeke had been a patron from really very early on, from I think maybe from the end of 2014 through the beginning of 2015, where Zeke had written some blogs for the website, but I didn't even realize that Zeke was a patron, because he was he wasn't in the patron group. So if somebody's and I'm sure there's people that are listening that are like, oh, Rob doesn't know me, but it's really just because if you're not in the patron group, you just you sign up, and then I never really have any interaction with you.
Yeah, and then so
that's $10 though, correct? I'm sorry.
Yeah, in the very beginning it was $5, and we had so many people come into the patron group, and we were having so many problems, and there was so much new blood coming in that I wanted to sort of just stave off the number of people that were coming into the patron group. So I made it up to $10 to be in the patron group, but grandfathered all the people in that were already in the patron group. So that's how we got to this point right now.
I'm just saying, at this rate, eventually there's going to be a season that's all patrons.
No, I mean, I do think it would be interesting if we ever got to the point where if there were 2 patrons in a particular season, would they be able to be like, okay, we got
pineapple pizza.
Yeah, or it could ultimately that could what leads to the patron civil war, where
exactly
half the people were team Jimmy and the other half were team Sarah, and then ultimately that's what blows the whole thing up.
That's the end. That's how it ends.
Yeah, could you imagine how much people would hate RHAP if like 2 survivors got together? They were both like people from the patron group. Nobody knew. They had a secret alliance, ran the season. Everybody would. That's the other thing that could probably end Rob as a podcast, where people would just hate RHAP so much. Like, you ruined the season. You're the worst.
But if there are 2 patrons on the season, and then they blow up each other's game and they ruin it for each other, and everyone knows they're patrons, then that saves RHAP.
Maybe they just be like, RHAP is so stupid that they look at they had 2 people that nobody knew they were went after each other and were like the second and third boots from the season. So no matter what, people will spin it a certain way.
I want to see 2 patrons on The Walking Dead is what I want to see.
What?
I want to see two RHAP or post-show recap patrons on Walking Dead.
Yeah, as zombies or as new characters?
I miss your Sunday live recap so much. I really enjoyed that. I've had to go to AfterBuzz TV for my.
You missed the video of it. Yeah,
you would have live after the Walking.
Yeah, you would go live right after the episode. I
loved that. Yeah, that was a ritual for me, and I'm kind of like Asperger's in a way, so I get really into my rituals, and then when they're taken from me, I'm like, But I guess I found another one. So
yeah. Well, sorry, Miriam.
Poor Carl.
Poor Carl.
Poor Carl. R.I.P.
R.I.P. Emphasis on the I.
On the eye, one eye. His eye was doing a lot of good acting, though. That last episode, that eye got a lot of good acting.
Yeah, it did. Do you think that Carl will ever get another acting job?
Oh, yeah. He's good looking. Chandler Riggs is tall. He's I'm sure Corinne Kaplan would go for him. He's 18 now. He's good looking. I love Corinne. She's a queen to me. I love your wife too. I just love them.
Did you listen to the Corinne podcast?
I loved it. It was great. I binge listened. As soon as it came out, I listened to it, and I loved it. It was great. Those 2 have a good rapport. I think they should do a show.
Who, Nicole and Corinne?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah.
But there's a foil in there, so you're kind of funny too. So you have to have a foil,
I try to keep them from going too far out there. But it's been a busy 24 hours here.
Oh my God, I don't know how you do it. Do you not sleep?
No, I got some sleep last night. I had to. The thing was last night, so I had to I had stuff going on in the afternoon, and then I had to I had to get to recording The Walking Dead with Jess at 5. We started like around like 5:20 my time, and then Corinne was coming, but Corinne always comes early. Like she's like doesn't want to get stuck in traffic, so she got here.
The Walking Dead podcast too. I couldn't believe it. There was you and Jessica Lee's done. I was like, wow.
Yeah, we got that out last night, and so Corinne came over at like 6:45, and then we started recording around like 7:30, and went to like around like between 10:30 and 11 was when we wrapped. But then I had to still get the Dr. Mike podcast out. I had to get the Walking Dead podcast out. And then this morning, I'm going to wake up to people being like, hey, where's Corinne podcast?
Because it's tomorrow, right?
Yeah. So then I had to get that, but it was also News AF this morning. So I
got to start watching that. I love Tyson. I miss the Spicing Hour though. I'm not.
News AF is way better.
He's growing on me, but I really miss
Spencer.
His name. Yes, I love Spencer. I mean, I've been a fan of his for a while. I love him.
Well, Miriam, Spencer and Heidi have a new podcast out, and you're gonna love this. That they have their baby on the podcast with them.
Right. They're 9/11 conspiracist theories like me. How am I saying the word? They love crystals. They're a little bit out there. I love him. I loved him when he was on the show. I missed him. I said, I'm getting used to Danny a little bit. He's kind of dry, but I thought Spencer and Tyson were really funny together.
Yeah, no, I'd be lying if I said that we didn't have some good moments with Spencer, but he's just, I think he's, I think he has, shouldn't be diagnosing anything, but whatever he has, there's just like.
Right. It's like when he wore the beard. Do you remember like when The Hills ended and he had that weird beard and he went to like the after parties and that strange beard? What a character. I mean,
he can be like a very nice, super interesting guy. And then I feel like but he snaps. Right.
And then he goes into his like, conspiracy. And I know because I watch like, the conspiracy theories sometimes I have to like really limit it. If you're just watching those things like 24/7, it's like it's not good. You have to stay positive on a positive vibration. You can't just be watching conspiracy theories and thinking that stuff. It's like that's not a good life.
No. Okay. All right. Let me try to get to some other calls here. Miriam, anything else?
Thank you for everything. You're the best.
Thank you so much. It's so much fun to talk to.
You too. Thank you. My love to Nicole and your kids.
You got it. Dan, you're okay.
Hi, Dan.
Likewise.
Thanks for
Dan, any final thoughts?
Haven't gotten to the Corinne cast yet. Actually, only through the warning, just because then the Zoom started. But the love cast was Dr. Mike at his best.
That was I hopefully I get to talk about that a little bit more tonight as well with Dr. Mike and Steven.
Yeah, way better than on his like standalone interview with you, honestly.
He was in his element.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, take care, Dan.
You too. Bye.
Okay. All right. So let's go into take a couple more people with okay. Let's see. And I'm going to remove mirror or like just disable talking. Okay, great. All right. Let's go to let's try Amanda. Okay. Amanda, are you there?
Hey Rob, can you hear me?
Yes, Amanda. There, you could just talk to me, or do you want to attempt the video?
Let's keep it simple.
You got it. Okay. All right. So Amanda, what's new?
Well, let's see. Well,
this is Amanda Rabinowitz.
This is Amanda Rabinowitz. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Hot off of my AMA.
Yes. How'd it go?
It was fun. It was good. Yeah. I hope I wasn't too boring. I don't have like a lot of patron crushes and like gossipy things.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I love talking to the patrons.
Okay. All right. So, Amanda, what's going on?
So, well, I would love to give you an opportunity to talk more about Dr. Mike on the Love Know-It-Alls.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, I would love to hear any of the details of arranging that. And it's just, I mean, I saw the news clip about him being involved with the Parkland victims, which was just like incredible. And so I mean, Sounds like there was a lot going on.
Yeah, it was a lot going on. I mean, the thing about Dr. Mike is that there's just like this dichotomy, like there's two sides of like that. On the one hand, you have like he is a surgeon who he saved somebody's life. He operated on somebody who was shot in that, and he's somebody, and he speaks from his heart, and he's a parent, and his children went through this traumatic experience in their community. He's friends with people he knows lost kids in that tragedy, and so he has that gravitas about everything that goes on, and then he can segue off of that to, but Rob, it's also time for people to talk about getting back to having sex.
Like, in the very next breath. I mean, it was amazing. I mean, he's such a character.
And he talked about how he's like, Rob, I got married on July 4th, 2001. And in your first year of being married, you're supposed to have sex every night. And then 9/11 happened. And then how are you supposed to go? And I'm like, Dr. Mike, such a good point that, they never talk about the real victims of these things. Like, are we supposed to allowed to talk about?
Well, it's got to be a tough thing for you to navigate as the host, because like you're going into these really heavy moments, and then, and then he's going kind of blue. I mean, I don't know. It's just,
right. Like yeah. And so he's like bouncing back and forth and talking about serious things and then also insane things. And he's like very much like, all right, here's a hypothetical situation. And Steven is like very much like, nope, I will not partake in a hypothetical situation. I will not even answer that question in the hypothetical.
Yeah, Steven seemed to get pretty uncomfortable when Dr. Mike was trying to insinuate that he had chemistry with Simone.
Yeah.
And bringing stereotypes into it.
Yeah. The conversation where it's like, there were some cuts that I had to make of things that between Steven was uncomfortable with, and like Steven's like I think we should start to wrap this up. I think we're good here. I think that Steven like wanted to pull the ripcord on all of this, but to me I was just a little frustrated. I didn't like Steven. This is what you wanted. So no, but I think that my takeaway from doing 7 weeks of this podcast with Steven wants to talk about, figuring out your Myers-Briggs personality test, and then what's like, do you put one elbow on the table on the first date? Because that's going to really you'll be from a position of power. And then, you should wear a red tie because that's a power tie if you go on a date with somebody. Like, that's like what Steven wants to really get into the weeds with, and not so much like he didn't really like the questions that were sort of like I'm not feeling a connection with my partner anymore. What do I do? Should I lose weight? Should I do this? Like, those were, that's not his thing.
I see. Yeah, so that's a different energy than what Dr. Mike is bringing to the table. Yeah, I thought it was interesting though, because I could sort of like see the way that Dr. Mike talked about some of the love questions. It reminded me of like his approach to Survivor in some ways, where it's like sometimes he would have an idea that was almost a good idea, like when he had the advice that the gentleman who had a surgical scar should go to a strip club and show a stripper and say, hey, what do you think of this? I mean, it's like an insane idea.
Yeah,
explains it, and it like came from something, and I feel like that was his game. He would like kind of have an idea that made sense, but then his actual plan would be something really off the wall. And
just like throwing stuff at the wall. Where you sort of like get the sense of like why he would like play an idol in that way. It's like, look, I'm on Survivor. I'm here. That idol is in my pocket and needs to get played. Yeah, I'm not gonna come out here to not play my idol. So just like the same way he's like, hey, yeah, everybody just needs to have sex. That's like his worldview, and you kind of get where he's coming from. But he's so fun, and like I think that my interview style is more along the way of like, okay, here's this person, and rather than try to get this person to conform to what I want to talk about, like, let's see where this person wants to go with this, and so I'll go on explore what Dr. Mike wants to explore, or hear out a person who where I'll break the format a little bit, because I think that that's where you get the best stuff from with these guests. But Dr. Mike, he asked me yesterday, like, can you send me the podcast? So I sent it to him, and he wanted to he had some tweaks that he had to make, including one that I thought was odd, that he had sent a picture at the end of the podcast of a severed member, which was and he said that he wanted us to bleep out what that was, because it wasn't his patient, and he was concerned that that was a HIPAA violation.
Oh my
But and then he called me this afternoon also. He's like, he started calling me. He called me last night when we were podcasting with Corinne, and then he called me this morning when I was doing the News AF, and then like texted me like, call me back whenever you can. I'm like, oh my God, it's like there's something in the podcast that's a problem. And then he's like, I forgot what I was gonna say, and then he was like, yeah, I've got 6 patients waiting right now. Only one of them's been waiting an hour. And he's like going into like all this other like podcast stuff. Like, Dr. Mike, go waiting to see you.
Can you imagine if he was your doctor? I mean, would you see Dr. Mike? I mean, not, for anything specific, but I mean, I can't imagine if he was my doctor.
Yeah. Well, but then he'll go into talking about medical stuff, and he's like a whiz. He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
But then also he's still like is wants to play. Like that's he's an interesting guy like that.
You're never gonna get rid of him, Rob. He's gonna be calling and texting you.
He's gonna start his own podcast. He started his own, he's got his own podcast coming up.
So was how did Steven feel about this as the season finale of the Love Know-It-Alls?
I think he was good. I think that Steven came around to I think we cured Steven of his lifelong quest to host the dating and relationship podcast from like early on when we were talking to like Michelle and Natalie. I think he was at the point where, hey, let's do this every week from here on out. And then by the time it became like infringed on his weekends enough weeks in a row after his like nights at the opera and days going to see Paddington 2, I think then he was sort of, over his foolish obsession with more podcasting.
Okay. So what does this say for the future of Love Know-It-Alls? Might we see it again in the off season, or?
I think maybe we might see a few episodes in the summer. I mean, Steven is getting married June 9th. Don't forget that date. And
how could anyone forget that date now, Rob?
I just love that. It's something that he does not, like, that is not a thought that crosses his mind.
Strategically chose the best date.
Yeah, strategically, like everything was perfect until this idiot opened his mouth, and it's like, it's not that. That's not a thing. Nope. And so he's getting married. I know he's not honeymooning until December, so I'm not sure what his ultimate schedule is going to be, but I don't know if he ended up loving it as much by the end of the season as he did in the beginning of the season.
Okay. Okay. Well, we'll take what we can get. I mean, I think I posted this in one of the threads, but you know, I've totally loved the Love Know-It-Alls, but I do believe you can have too much of a good thing, and I think it's better to sprinkle it in sparingly before, you know, you and Steven get sick of it or the audience gets sick of it. Like it's a nice fun way to get some other guests into the rotation, but we don't need it every week.
I would agree with that. I would agree. Look, it was great in January where we didn't have much else going on, but you know, once we got to Celebrity Big Brother, I think we not to say we did bad shows, but I feel like that people were not clamoring for it in the way that, you know, it was a staple of the week when there wasn't that much going on.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. All right. Well, Amanda, were you happy with the findings of the character type system?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was so I did want to ask you about this, but we don't have to get too deep into it. I mean, so Sean and Angie and I have been working on this and it's been
Yes.
amazing. And I want to like give a shout out. I mean, we've had over 70 people coding seasons for us, which is just like blows my mind. And we've gotten great data and we have a really involved community and it's been super, super fun. And I think we can do a lot of cool stuff with it. But I was just wondering, you know, I heard your podcast with Angie, of course, and you know she did a great job as always. But I sense a little reluctance from you, Rob, about embracing our system that we've been working on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I'm a little bit of a skeptic with when it comes to the system, just because I don't know necessarily and I don't discount the work that you guys are doing. But I just don't. I don't know necessarily I prefer it when it's more like, okay, this gives us insight as opposed to this is a absolute this is the 5-day forecast of what's going to happen.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I think we all feel the same way. I don't think that that's what we ever wanted to do was like create something like Edgic that would, you know, okay, now by episode 5 we know who the winner is,
Right.
so you know we won, or you know, and that's not the joy.
Yeah. And I told this to Angie too, but I like what I didn't love last season was when we did it a couple weeks into the season where it was like, okay, well, we know we've seen enough positive stuff from from Ben and Chrissy and Ryan that those 3 people are gonna, and that ended up being the final 3. And I felt like that was I would love to be, I love to be surprised.
Yeah, yeah. No, and I think that that's like where our heads are at too. And we were kind of like, you know, a little bit surprised that it worked so well the first time. But you know, this was a particular season with a particular type of edit and a particular type of care, you know. So I don't think that, you know, we've broken Survivor by any means, but we've like been doing some fun things and looking at, what are some of the characteristics of like more successful
Yeah.
players within a certain type, and I think that that's really interesting.
Yeah,
So
to me, I think with it, what's the most interesting stuff about the system is like the stuff that is like looking backwards at the past in terms of like how the seasons played out and sort of like making taking findings from like coding how things happened in a particular season as opposed to this person, like when we're trying to figure out like, oh, this person in their bio is works in marketing, so they're this. Whereas they like half the time it's like CBS tells you, okay, you're a marketing person. It's like it's just not. We don't have a clear picture from the bios in the preseason to take that much. Sometimes we're dead wrong about somebody in the preseason.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I think there'll be some fun insights that we can glean from it and some interesting ways of talking about some of the players that have played in the past. I mean, you tell us what you want to know, Rob, and I'll have all the boys back in the lab work something up.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, Andrew said at the end of the podcast, because I was sort of asking like, so what is like the end goal? And it's like, if you could sort of like be able to really get into the weeds in terms of like ranking the players, I think that's very exciting.
Yeah, we definitely can do stuff like that and have some characteristics like, these are the behaviors that characterize the best games, and these are the players that have done the most in those areas. So, yeah, but it's just been a lot of fun, and it's just, amazing the amount of time and genius that Sean Falconer has put into it too. I mean, I'm just like, I'm working on this stuff with them. I'm like, I wish I was like doing this for something real that could help my career or
right.
but or the world in some way, but but it's Survivor and we're having fun with it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, Amanda, enjoy the Survivor premiere tomorrow.
Yes, I will.
Do you have a winner pick?
Yeah, I mean, I want to say my gut tells me Wendell and Laurel were the first two that I was really drawn to, but I feel like I have to mull it over more. But I'll say Laurel because she's a patron, and patrons are taking over the world.
Yeah.
Look out.
Okay. All right. So, all right. Good luck to Laurel tomorrow night.
All right.
Okay. All right. Take care.
Rob.
Bye, Amanda.
Bye.
Okay. All right. So let's let's see. We got a bunch of people still with their hand up. Let me bring in let me see. Okay. Let me bring in Morgan, who we haven't talked to in a minute.
Hello.
Morgan, how are you?
Great. How are you?
Very good. How's everybody doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I honestly have been meaning to call in for like the past 2 years, but I just always miss the announcement post, or I miss it and I see it the next day. Like, ah, dang it. So this time I added it to my work calendar. I put the Zoom link in.
Yes.
So I use Zoom all the time at work. So this is my.
Yes. Okay. And you do you have problems with it ever?
No, not like today. I mean, occasionally, but not usually.
Yeah.
But this is a totally different setup than I'm used to. Like, I don't have this.
Yeah, this is the webinar module, and that for whatever reason it worked fine last month, but it did not like my camera tonight.
No good. No good.
Yeah. So this is my webcam, and it's like blown up and zoomed in and not at the right angle. I don't want to talk about it, Morgan.
We don't have to talk about it. We can move on.
Okay.
So my question, I don't know. I don't feel like this has been explicitly talked about, but game changers.
Yes.
I don't know about you, but I feel like I just completely ignored that season. I forget about it all the time. Even a few months after it aired, I was going back and I'm like, what happened last season? Who was on that? What was it called? I don't know. So do you have that feeling?
Yes.
Or why was that season just so not good?
Well, you know what? I kind of feel like I remember the pre-merge like kind of vividly, and everything with Sandra. Like, if I was going to tell you, like, Tony was crazy, and then Sandra was like a boss. Malcolm got voted out of the Double Tribal Council, and then the Zeke and Jeff Varner thing happened, and it's a little bit of a blur after that. Yada yada yada. Sari had Idol Geddon, and then Advantage Geddon, and then Officer Sarah won.
There you go.
That's kind of it. It's even hard for me to really like remember, like, what did Officer Sarah, she like stole the advantage from that Michaela was supposed to get, and then she took the advantage from Sierra Dawn Thomas, but did she do anything with those? I don't even remember. Like, she got them, she had advantages, and she kind of voted against her friends, but
right.
a little bit. And then she like took Brad Culpepper's wedding ring, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it was just a matter of them trying to, have lightning in a bottle strike twice, and get the cast back. And they weren't really the top people that we wanted or needed. And so it was just very unmemorable. It's kind of a shame. So hopefully we have a long, long time of newbies, because all these newbies are pretty great right now.
Yes, I enjoyed the new player seasons more than the all-star seasons. Like, it was fun. Second Chances was its own animal, but I like the new player vibes.
Same, except There's a Morgan on this season. It makes me a little sad.
Yes.
It's not me.
And
she's my winner pick very begrudgingly. I'm like,
I know that Morgan, are you still interested in playing Survivor? Would you you still would?
Absolutely. It's a matter of time.
It's a matter of time.
I've always said that in my mind. Like there is no doubt in my mind that I'm going to get on the show.
Well, I've always said that right now. So. I've always said that too. I'm sorry, you said you're pregnant right now?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh, thanks.
Yes.
So I'm out for this cycle, but come September, I'll be applying again.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Morgan, that when you finally do play, you're gonna be the mom. You'll be like
I know my casting archetype or whatever has completely shifted from being single girl 21 when I first started applying, which sad, it's been 10 years. I don't feel like I've been applying 10 years, but I have. That's pathetic. And then the married person, the young married girl who of course they had no interest in because it doesnn't fit. Are you the mom? Are you the married mom? Or
that might be time to send in a tape for the Amazing Race.
Right.
Yeah.
So now I'm totally the mom archetype, which I guess I'll take,
Yeah. Okay. You're back in the mix.
Back in the mix. So in a few years you'll see me.
Yes. Okay. Well, that's one of the great destinies that needs to be fulfilled. That you were going to be the patron that we were going to cheer on Survivor.
I know I've just been letting everyone down, but maybe we'll see. I'm still hoping that I'll be the Morgan that doesn't suck. So,
yes.
Even though I have a winner pick named Morgan, I'm kind of secretly.
Oh, you're in on Morgan. Morgan.
Yes. I've looked through the list. And she's the one I like the most.
Yeah.
So it's the name.
Okay.
Anyway, I'll let you go. I know you have a ton of other people.
Okay. All right. Well, Morgan, good catching up. Congratulations. When's the baby coming?
End of May.
Oh wow. Okay. So you're closing in.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, congratulations.
Thanks.
And good to talk to you.
I'll be back. We'll try to make it maybe in 2 years.
Okay.
Join
all right.
another one.
Here we
Bye.
Go. All right. Bye, Morgan. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and Morgan is off the call. Why don't we check in with? Let me see how John is doing. Okay, so I'm just gonna bump John up to here. Let me make sure he's okay. That John, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Yes, you want me to put the video on?
Let's give it a try.
Let's give it a try. All right, let's see what's going on here. So hopefully we don't have problems like with Edmo. Okay. John.
Oh, I guess.
Yes. Did it work or no?
Yeah, it worked on me, but I don't know why it didn't work on Edmo. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. No, I don't see you though. Let me see. No, for whatever reason, again, it's that kind of night, John.
Oh, never mind.
Yes. Okay. All right. So anyway, so I can hear you. So what's new?
Everything is good, but oh my God, I am so happy for Kirsten.
Yeah, this is exciting, right?
Yeah, I mean, oh my God, I mean, the next few months, like Facebook Friday's gonna be, a little bit stale without her.
But we'll have so much to talk about, John.
I know, but
does this take the sting off of Jess and Cody now?
No, I'm just, so happy for her. But, I'll take over for her for a little bit before she gets back to her, original thing.
Okay, so you'll take her spot on calling in. Well, who's going to take your spot then?
I guess my double.
Do you have a double? Wow. Okay. John's double. Who knew? Okay. So, all right. So you're gonna take her spot. All right. So you're excited. What else is going on, John?
I'm ready. Oh my God, tomorrow night for Survivor. So if you don't see me, but I'm wearing my purple buff.
Yes. Who's your pick, John?
It's still gonna be Laurel and maybe Donathan, but
Okay. Laurel and Donathan. Okay.
Yeah, but. Yeah, I don't know when the candidate's coming out, but hopefully, I don't know how good Kirsten will do, but I don't know. I'm still gonna be biased.
Will you make her your winner pick, John?
Maybe.
Okay. All right, that's good. John, will you be feuding with people that are the Kirsten haters, the casuals?
hope they might not know who I am. Like, if they know who I'm friends with, but like, yeah, we'll see.
Will the Canadian casuals like Kirsten, or will she only have a fan base in RHAP?
Hopefully they love her.
Hopefully.
Come on, we all love her. Come on.
What if she like knocks out like a showmance?
I think that's a good move.
Be a good move, but maybe the casuals won't like it, John.
Yeah, but they're not gonna. But Kirsten has a boyfriend that's not gonna she's not gonna make it serious.
Well, I'm not saying she's gonna be a showmance, but if she votes out a showmance, like she breaks up like the Jess and Cody of Canada.
There's
a lot of showmances on Big Brother Canada.
I know. Look, the mic is still on, so which is good.
Yeah. Okay. John, you want to help me answer a question?
Sure.
Okay. This is from Felipe, who says Taryn better draft Kirsten and not ruin her chances. Do you think that will affect anything if Taryn doesn't draft her?
By the way, Taryn's been winning, maybe, but I could see Brent getting her.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be like a battle.
Yes. Okay. Let's see. There's a question from Timmy, John, new patron here. So, all these patron podcasts, can you kind of explain them to me and the basic gist of them? Looks like there are 2 weekly shows and this is a monthly show. Yes, there's 3 types of patron shows. You are listening or watching the Patroncast, the monthly call, the 47th month in a row. Believe it or not, John, that we have done this show. And I used this term the other day, and I kind of like it, that I treat this one a little bit more. This is more like a press conference. People can ask questions about whatever they want, and then try to explain, anything I'm doing or questions about behind the scenes or whatnot. And in a normal Patroncast, you can call in by phone or call in by video. Unfortunately, we're having some technical issues tonight with this. And believe me, Zoom.us will be hearing about it. We do a weekly show, John, the Facebook Friday, where I will be in the Facebook group. And it's, I think that's more informal, more casual. Let people, this is more, I want to get to know you guys more so than this podcast is more about me answering questions. And in a perfect world, that's how that goes. And then once a week, I'll check in with Nicole on the Patron 5 for 5. And typically that will be Nicole and I talking about questions of 5 different subjects. More often than not, it's just me answering a bunch of questions with Nicole, talking about what's going on in our lives, John. Was that a good explanation?
It is good, and the Facebook Friday is mostly a off topic, what you want to talk about. Sure.
So we more talk about whatever on that's more informal, I think.
Yeah, and plus Facebook Friday is like more of like antics and what have you.
Antics, that's right.
I think we should go back to see all those videos I've been doing. Not what I've been doing on Facebook Friday.
Wait, what videos are you doing?
Me with the classroom and also like the concert and
Oh yeah. John would be all over the place. Okay. An anonymous question wants to know, will John be doing exit interviews for Big Brother Canada?
I wish I can, but I don't have global access like you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe one day, John.
Yeah, I think when I reach professional level.
Yeah, eventually. Do you want to practice doing an exit interview?
Is it gonna be like the Nicole one?
Yes. So, all right. Do you want to interview me, John, coming off of one of these shows?
Okay. Let's try, I guess.
All right. So, what do you want? You want me to be me coming off of getting voted off Survivor?
Sure.
Okay. All right, John. You take it away.
All righty. Hi, Rob. How are you today?
Not good, John.
I'm so sorry. I mean, everybody, loves you, but there's other fans out there.
Yeah, Well, I'm not feeling good today, John. I'll tell you that right now.
Same here. So let's get to at least like what happened in Tribal, because you said to Jimmy that you would play his idol, and then he blindsided you.
Yeah, John, really very upset. Jimmy, I thought he was a friend. I thought I was working with him, and lo and behold, same thing keeps happening to me. I keep getting voted out of these tribal councils.
Yeah, and you thought Curtin had your back as well, but you didn't know she was doing double deals. Did you know about those double deals, or weren't aware about it?
No, obviously I didn't. This is now 3 tribal councils in a row I've been voted out. I think that's got to be some sort of a survivor record, John.
Yeah, we'll talk about your showman, I guess.
Showmans. Please, John, that my wife could be listening.
Your, I guess, alliance, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll talk about your alliance with, I guess, Allison.
Yes.
And you said you had a final 2 deal with her, so why did you break it?
I didn't. I got voted out.
It was earlier in Tribal when you voted her out.
Boy, I guess my game was a real mess, John. Okay. Please, John, don't even put that out into the universe. I got a showmance. Please, if you ever want me to go back on one of these shows, don't even kid around about that.
Yeah, sorry in advance, Nicole.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right, John. Everything else is good?
That's fun though.
Yeah. I think you got this.
Hopefully. Just a quick question though. Which one did you love most covering, the Celebrity Big Brother or the Amazing Race 30?
Well, I feel like that the Amazing Race was fun. I enjoyed podcasting with both Jess and Mike, but I feel like that Celebrity Big Brother was a little bit more of a. It was fun. I mean, I did basically like 13 podcasts in like 18 days or something like that, and I feel like that was more memorable for me.
I know it was fun, and also the LCs were mostly enjoying, covering it.
Yeah, it was fun. Everybody had a good vibe. It's like Big Brother is such a grind that this was the opposite of a grind. This was like a sprint.
I know, and then like, oh my goodness, you got like what? Not enough time to rest, especially with Survivor and Big Brother Canada.
No time to rest, John. Going right back to it. Better too much stuff than not enough. Okay. All right, John. You take care, buddy. Okay.
All right, I'll see you hopefully Friday.
Okay. All right, take care, buddy. Bye. All right. So, all right, let's go back to the calls. And why don't we check in with, is this Sarah? Oh, Sean.
Hey, Ron.
Yes, how's it going? Sorry that we're missing an N on the end of Sean.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. Yes. Okay. What's going on?
Not much. First time calling in.
Yes. Nice to talk to you.
Yeah. Actually, 2 years ago was when I met you at the LA Normals.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, nice to have you here on the Patroncast 47. What's going on? Are you excited for Survivor tomorrow night?
Yeah, I'm excited. More excited for Big Brother Canada, right?
Yes.
That's another story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And yeah, I'm excited for Survivor.
Yeah. Okay, cool. What did you want to talk about?
So the NFL draft is coming up.
Yes.
And what do you think about your Jets?
Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about my disastrous football team. The Jets are being very heavily linked to one Kirk Cousins and are allegedly thinking about breaking the bank to go all in for Kirk Cousins. I would prefer if the Jets tried to draft a quarterback and build up their own, as opposed to, I think Kirk Cousins is good, but I just feel like, it's like Kirk Cousins on the Jets. It's like, 9-7, here we come, as opposed to, maybe building up a guy who's going to be the face of the franchise for 10 years And so I'm much more intrigued. Like Kirk Cousins, it would be, okay, but it just seems like more of the same as opposed to, for the first time in my life having potentially a franchise quarterback. So I would not mind if Kirk Cousins went to Denver and then took them out of the mix for a quarterback, and then potentially trying to get up to maybe they could even stay at 6 and have one of the quarterbacks fall to them.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't go to Denver because I'm a huge Raiders fan.
Oh,
And I don't want to deal with him.
are you a fan of Kirk Cousins?
No, he beat us last year.
Yeah.
He handed us our first loss, and luckily we have a quarterback, so we don't have to worry about that. But our defense is very shaky, so we need to get some defense in the draft.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for John Gruden. So.
Yes. All right, and you like that long contract they gave him?
I mean, I feel like it doesn't matter at this point. Like,
yeah, it's not your money.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, it's not salary cap money, so it's
why not?
Coming out of the owner's pocket, so
yeah.
Whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm
just a lot of intrigue, Sean.
Yeah, I was just excited for the season. Still only 5 months left, but draft coming up, and yeah.
Yeah, it'll be exciting.
Yeah.
So,
I'll let you get to other calls, but thanks for taking my call.
Oh yeah, well, Sean, nice talking to you. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, take care, buddy. Bye.
You too, man. Bye.
Okay. All right. And all right, so let's go. Then let's talk to BTSM. Brent, how are you?
I'm good. Can you...
hold on. Try one more time. You cut out for a second.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
What's
How
up,
are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Okay. Doing very good. What's going on?
I'm sure you've talked through the premiere tomorrow, but I
really have not talked much about Survivor.
Okay. Well, I'm excited for it. I found out on my way home from work today that we have the same winner pick.
Oh, yes.
So I tweeted it out earlier today, and then I found out that you had the same. I figured you would.
Did that bum you out?
No, it didn't bum me out. I was just glad that I thought it before, because I was thinking about it, and then I never make winner picks, but I don't know. It's just nice to know that I think you have a good Survivor mind, and hopefully we're on the same wavelength, and she'll pull out a win.
Right. It's rare that I pick somebody and then they're like god awful. I feel like I can sort of identify, for the most part. I feel like that most of my winner picks have been okay, right? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think they've been pretty good. I mean, look,
like Anna Kate is in hindsight maybe.
I mean, it's sometimes we all make mistakes, but
right.
But
you pick enough seasons.
17 to 19 people lose every season, and it's not like you're picking the first one out as your winner every season. So so I think I got really good vibes from her, and mostly just from first one out, honestly. But I think the really interesting part, and you talked to Nicole a lot about this, was what other people said about them. I think says a lot. And even with, I think it was one of the Stephanies Gonzalez, where you said she's great, but other people coming in with a first impression like that, it's hard for people to sometimes go against that, what their first impressions are.
Yeah. No, and I wish I had a bigger sample size. It's like what I was talking about with Amanda and the system. Like, it'd be great if we sort of like were able to hear what all the players were saying about all the other players going back in, through Survivor history, who they wanted to work with, who they didn't want to work with, and how they ultimately ended up doing. Where, I went back and I looked at what people were saying about Ben pregame and what people were saying about Chrissy pregame, and everybody loved Ben. Ben's the best. Oh, I love this guy. He's so awesome. And Chrissy, nobody was like negative about Chrissy, but they just said, oh, she's the mom. Okay, she's going to be the mom. She's going to be the mom. And, I think that ultimately that was how people ended up, the Chrissy thing is obviously complicated, but that they loved Ben, so much before the game started.
Yeah. And I think Chrissy even had more, maybe not personally, but people didn't think that she was going to play that great of a game.
Mm-hmm.
She was, maybe it's just me, but she was kind of on like Katrina level mom status. Not that I think if you had to pick one or the other, you'd probably pick Chrissy, but they were on the same tribe, and you're like, well, maybe one of those women are going to go first. And it wasn't her, but it could have been.
Yeah. No, and I think it just speaks to what a great job Josh has done the last couple seasons out there. And, there's so much great stuff that comes out of the Survivor press corps, but Josh really, that's just very useful. And I think sometimes in First One Out, it's like you hear people talking about them, but you don't necessarily, like, I find it hard to differentiate the voices of who's talking, but in the long form, like text write-ups that he does, like I found that very useful in the pregame stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And there is a lot more meat there if you go through all of those. What do you think of the Aaron Sebula videos? I haven't watched them, but I kind of want to try and watch them before the premiere.
Yeah. So, I really thought those were very strong also, because nobody else does like a sit down interview with the contestants where it's like a back and forth conversation. I thought that's actually very like a good way to do it. And she does a really good job with those. I was trying to follow along on she did like a Reddit AMA, and I guess that she's not going back out there. I think that I had erroneously heard she wasn't with ET Canada anymore, but it sounds like I think she still is, but they don't have the budget to send her back out there to Fiji. And they were trying to do a petition to get signatures. And again, if a petition gets 5,000 signatures in Canada, it becomes the law.
Right.
So she said ET Canada let her go. So yeah, I'm not really sure if it's that she's not on ET Canada or on the whether it's a budget issue.
Yeah, no, I hadn't heard much about that, but I just know that a couple of the people that I'm following on social media seem to talk pretty highly of those interviews, and I hadn't watched any of them yet.
Yeah, people are saying she got blindsided in the chat.
Oh, yeah, I hadn't heard that, but no, I'm excited for this season.
So what people are trying to do? Get a petition to get them to rehire Aaron Sebula?
I have no idea. We might need some help from the chat.
What's going on? Is that how that works?
Rob needs to save another.
She wants her job back. I thought it was that maybe they didn't have enough money to do it, and they wanted to show people how much interest there was.
I guess people are trying to make ET Canada rehire her.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll have to see, but
I had her on the podcast before Game Changers. She's very nice.
Oh, okay. I might have listened to that. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Can't remember, but I know you were talking about Game Changers earlier, but yeah, I'm just trying to keep up with all the preseason. Is this the most you think there's ever been?
Well, I was talking with Scott the other day, and he was saying that between Rahap-Ups and Rob's podcast, I'm not even sure if he was counting post-show recaps, which, I mean, post-show recaps says, basically, on average has about 2 episodes a week. But he had said that, we posted 30 podcasts last week between the RHAP and the Rahap-Ups. And then on my call with him today, he said that actually it was 31. He had forgot to count the Angie podcast that I posted on Saturday. So we posted 31 podcasts between the two networks, or the two channels.
How long of a time frame was that?
I think in a week.
That's I drive in Los Angeles traffic and pretty much listen to your podcast the entire time, and I can't even keep up. So, if there's problem when that's going on.
I mean, basically, last week we had, 7 days of Taryn's feed updates, 5 Big Brother Canada nightly podcasts. I think there was an LFC roundtable too. So that's 12 from just Big Brother. We had First One Out going on, and the Survivor preview that Nicole and I did. So I think that might have been 4 just from Survivor. Plus, I think the RHAP B&B and the Why Blank Lost released the podcast as well. The Bachelor was in season, and plus they had the Bachelor Winter Games going on. There was the Amazing Race stuff, Amazing Race exit interviews, plus Top Chef and the MTV Challenge is in season, and I'm sure there's something else I'm forgetting too.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, I watched Amazing Race for the first time this season, and I was very impressed. I liked it, but I haven't even listened to any finale stuff yet because it's just like I didn't catch it when it was hot, and now the stream's moving, and I'm just going with it.
What are you gonna do?
So I'm gonna have to go back, and I don't know. I heard the exit interviews were pretty good though.
Yeah, that was fun. I like Justin Cody were fun, and Henry and Evan that were pretty good. So they were fine.
I mean, what did you think? I mean, I guess you're kind of like a lukewarm about this Amazing Race season, or what do you think?
I mean, I thought it was a fun. I mean, I'm overall I'm kind of lukewarm on the Amazing Race. That it's not, it's never been my favorite. And there's times where like, ooh, that was great. And the finale I thought was a great episode. But sometimes it could be the Amazing Race could be a little bit of a slog for me, where and not in a way that like Survivor or Big Brother ever gets.
Yeah, it's really interesting the way they did it, just because they put it in a shorter time frame than they usually do. So they had a bunch of 2-hour blocks. Yeah. Where I was with you on some of those 2-hour blocks, I was like, thank goodness for no commercials on CBS All Access, and I was kind of like checking my phone. Like it was, especially some of those non-eliminations. I mean, it was fun, and I think they had some really good characters. But I don't know. I'd be interested to see what a Survivor or Big Brother season would. I guess Big Brother is 3 months, so that's out of the question. But what a Survivor season would be like if we had that many 2-hour blocks and it was like a shorter window like that.
Yeah. It might be interesting if they ever did some sort of like a celebrity version and they did like some sort of like 16 days and like a really condensed time frame to see what that would look like. But the Amazing Race, like it can be hilarious at times, and I like the conflict and the drama, but sometimes it's just like, a bunch of people going through doing the same task, nothing really eventful can happen at times. So I don't think you have that as often between Survivor and Big Brother.
Yeah, I hear you. So do we know with 20 castaways, are they going to do like double boots, or are there any 2-hour episodes? Do we know that ahead of time?
Tomorrow night we will have 2 people voted off in 2 hours. So look for 2 tribal councils and 2 people voted off, and then we'll have 2 exit interviews coming up on Thursday. And then I think that we should probably expect maybe a double episode along the way, but I think that they have not minded in the past, like going into the finale with 6 people. We've had also down the stretch where 2 tribal councils in 1 hour also has been a thing that Survivor has done. So I'm not sure how many times they may pull that card as well.
Yeah, those have been, I think those are kind of hit or miss with those episodes.
Yeah, I think it's sort of like we don't have necessarily that much time to process what happened. And I think that, where I think it was it who brought up the what even happened on Game Changers? Was it Morgan? It was, I think that having one of those down the stretch, I think also was a little bit like, wait, what happened?
Was that right at the merge?
There was one, I think, did Andrea and Sari, was that one episode?
I don't think so, but I could be wrong. It's all a blur that season.
Yeah.
I think we had like a Will Wall and Sunday.
Yeah, that happened also, Millennials versus Gen X.
I mean, and that was okay. I think that was probably a good.
Sorry, no, it was Andrea and Michaela, and then Haley.
Haley, that's right, because it was right. Yeah, it was the merge. So, anyways, I'm just excited for this season. I feel
Haley and Ozzy was 2 hours for the record.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah. Just excited for the season. I think the theme is. I don't even fully know what it's going to be like, how it's going to play out, what it means, but it'll be fun. And we're off to the races again.
Yeah. Okay. So, we'll see. I'm excited.
Yeah.
It'll be fun to do the podcast.
All right. Well, enjoy the rest of the night. I just wanted to hop in and say that we'll be pulling for the same winner pick.
Okay. All right.
So
Take care.
Go Kelly N.
All right. Take care. BTSM. All right.
All right. Later.
Okay. And okay, we're gonna just okay. Okay, disable talking. Okay, there we go. All right. Let's anonymous attendee. Will you try to get Ross to talk about his game? I'm not against it. That would be fine. I mean, I'm not gonna go crazy trying to track down Ross because we have so much going on, but you know, I think we would definitely be up for that. Let's see. Anonymous attendee. Rob, speaking of know-it-alls for Boston for patrons, what's the best opening line for patrons to suggest to other former survivors or house guests attend the event? Yeah, ask them if they want to go. I mean, let me know who you're thinking about, and maybe there's a chance that we may have already reached out to them. But if there's somebody in the Boston area that we didn't reach out to, you know, we'll definitely give it a shot. You know, unless there's some extenuating circumstances like they want to kill me or something like that, then I do not want them to go. Anonymous attendee, can you release the unedited Dr. Mike Love Know-It-Alls just for the patrons? Well, okay, so I probably won't do that because because there's things that Steven doesn't want to be out there. So if I say to Steven, well, it's just for the patrons that I release that, I think he'd still be like, no, I don't want that. So if it was a matter of like, oh, I cut this down because it was too long, I could definitely see a scenario where I do something like that. But if somebody's like, well, no, I don't want that story out there, I don't want to talk about this on a podcast, I might say, well, why did you talk about it then if you don't want it to be on a podcast? But then I don't think that just these couple hundred people will get to hear it. I think that that's not really comforting to the person who said, I told that I wasn't going to post that conversation on the podcast. So let's go back to the phone lines. And why don't we check in with William? William.
Hey, Rob.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yes, very good. What's going on?
Not much. Just want to talk about Big Brother Canada with the big news.
Yes.
So one question I had for you is that I think a lot of super fans tend to play too hard too early and out in games like this. Is there any better preparation than having watched Shannon Elizabeth play Celebrity Big Brother right before going into the house for Kirsten?
If I was going to give any advice to a person who is going into Big Brother Canada, I think the exact advice that I would have given a person who is going to go play a game like that would be, just don't be Shannon Elizabeth.
Okay.
I would think I would give the advice to somebody. I'd say, just be fun, get along with everybody. Don't try to play hard early. I think I would say, lay back, be fun, be everybody's friend in the house.
Yeah, I think because of the Shannon thing, I do think she's well positioned, because I think sort of the biggest downside that I would have seen for Kirsten is overplaying, and I would hope that Shannon would serve as a really good deterrent for that.
Yeah, well, I think that she again has these two sides where I think that she doesn't they're not going to walk into the house like, oh, that girl's the nerd. She's definitely the super fan.
Right.
She's not. She'll be able to I think that she can play off she's on this show because of her personality, or she's the funny one, and that's why they liked her big personality and put her into the house. And so I think that she can hide behind that, as opposed to where she is going to come in and they'll immediately target her as she's the girl that knows the game really well.
Well, on that note, actually, they cast more fans. I mean, obviously not to the level of Kirsten, but they do cast more fans in Big Brother Canada. Do you think somebody's going to remember her from the two shows she did on RHAP recapping Big Brother with the LFC?
I can't imagine. I mean, because she did a kicking and screaming podcast, and she did she was on the LFC roundtable, but I don't know, like, necessarily if we say that they cast more fans than, I mean, go back, look at the 8 people that they cast last season. Were any of them fans? I mean, Karen was, but other than that, was one person who was cast from the fans. Like, they know anything about the show coming in?
Yeah, that's fair.
So I don't know necessarily if that's if that holds up. I think that maybe there was a season where maybe Big Brother Canada, was it 3, had a lot of fans, and I think that they might have that they played too tight. So Big Brother Canada 4, I think, obviously Mitch, I think, was a fan, and there was a couple people that were fans going in, but I don't know how many of them were super fans.
Okay. That was really all I wanted to talk about, was specifically the Shannon thing, and how hopefully that serves as a really good deterrent of how.
I think that I think that she would know that.
Yeah. Okay.
But sometimes like the best laid plans.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm sure the excitement of getting in there is very hard to plan for.
Mm-hmm.
Especially for someone like you said, she was so close last year, so this is a long time coming for her. So
so
hopefully she does well.
Yeah, look, hopefully more than anything, I hope she has a good experience.
Yes.
I would hate to see her go out there and then become jaded for whatever reason. Like, I hope she win or lose. I just hope that she has fun.
Yeah, hopefully there's no controversy of something she said once at 3 a.m. on the live feeds or something.
Yeah, I mean, has that happened in Big Brother Canada?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
thankfully, but just the Big Brother community is not always the most accepting and forgiving.
Yeah, luckily the feeds aren't always working on Big Brother Canada. I think the closest we had that was Rochelle peeing in the pool.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else you wanted to get into?
No, that was it. Just
okay.
Questions. I'll let you get on. I know there's lots of callers here.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, take care, buddy.
All right. Thanks. Bye, Rob.
All right. Actually, more so than callers, I have a lot of questions from you guys, and it's let's see, Brendan was is this the best peak RHAP timeline? Well, I mean, my cameras could be working. I mean, that could be better. This is Felipe. Well, he's on hold. I'll go ahead and patch him in rather than ask his questions. And Timmy's on hold also. So let me I'll let him ask his questions. And let's see. This is somebody wants to know, will we ask Kirsten secret H questions in preseason interviews? I don't think we're getting preseason interviews, and even if we're not talking about that. We're keeping it a really big secret. Somebody wants to know, anonymous attendee, any discussion between you and the LFC about adding an additional LFC for the upcoming Big Brother Canada 6 and Big Brother 20? I would say that when the LFC tell me, hey, we need more LFC, then we will work at that. I do feel like that 3 is the best number for the LFC because it just works out particularly well with having 4 people on a podcast, 5 people on a podcast. It's a lot. So when everybody's on the show, like 4 is a great number. And then also if we get to a scenario where there's 3 Big Brother episodes a week, you have you could give everybody a night where that works out. So if the LFC decide that, hey, we need a new LFC, this is too much, we're spread too thin, I'm open to it. But until that point, I think that we're in a good spot with the LFC that we have, and then a very deep bench of people who can fill in on any given night or morning. Okay, let's go ahead and bring on. Let's check in with Dara, who I haven't talked to in a minute. Dara.
Hey, how are you?
Yes, how you doing? No, we talked to you when you moved into your new apartment.
Yeah, I'm still in my new apartment.
You didn't move out yet.
I have not yet. My question is about my new apartment though.
Okay. Yes.
So I know you have the podcast going, and you know you have the family downstairs. Apparently, I like to talk on the phone a lot. I like to Skype a lot. Apparently, I'm the loudest Skyper ever because my downstairs neighbor apparently can hear everything I do at all times. And so
how do you know this?
Because he's told me.
Yes.
Like, I've been here about a week. It's probably been like 5 out of the 8 nights that he's been like, hey, I can hear everything you're doing. Can you keep it down? So my question was more, what do you do to help soundproof your studio so I can help soundproof my apartment?
Right. Okay. Well, the more things you have in the room, the more that will sort of cancel out the sound. But if somebody is below you, I'm not sure. And you have carpet, right?
Yeah, I have carpet. So I don't have my furniture is not coming till Saturday. So I'm actually in an empty room on the desk.
Yeah, but
so
that to me, that I feel like that having just like nothing on the walls would be more to like if you were like people you were talking to on Skype were like, oh my God, you have such an echo in your room. Is there anything you could do about that as opposed to canceling your volume? I'm not sure necessarily having more stuff is going to stop you from somebody below you hearing what you're saying. Like it's gonna like because the sound will bounce off the walls and that creates different problems with like the sound is like it's going into your microphone and then bouncing off the wall and then bouncing off the wall behind you and then coming back and then like a split second later hitting it, and that's what creates problems in a room that doesn't have soundproofing. But if like for instance if Brenchill's baby was in the other room, I could have all the stuff that I in here or in there. It's not going to do a lot to necessarily stop me from hearing her if she was right underneath me.
Is there something I could like put on the floor necessarily?
Yeah. Well, have you thought about moving where your computer is to maybe, is it like that you, like, is your, like, are you doing the computer in the bedroom where this guy's trying to sleep?
No, I'm doing it up against a wall kind of near the kitchen, which I think may be the problem. I'm thinking about moving it to a wall like facing the outside where maybe the voice would go to the outside. I don't know.
Yeah. I think that maybe something you could do is like I've seen these things where it's almost like I'm not sure if you're watching the video, but it's sort of like a U shape and it's like made out of like this stuff that's like on the wall behind me, like the soundproofing. So maybe it could be where you're like talking and you have it like behind your computer where it's like you're talking into the thing. So now then your sound is not bouncing off there, and maybe it'll sort of like deaden the sound after you're talking.
But I mean like, does Nicole or the kids ever hear you up there?
No, but we are very far away from where they are. So just the layout of this house is like all my stuff is on the second floor, and I sort of have their, I could close the door to this room, and then I have like this like sitting room office that's out there. And then there's a flight of stairs and another door that's they're probably, a good like, 30, 35 feet away from where I am, and also down a flight of stairs.
Okay. So it's quite a distance. So the foam is more like to prevent the microphone from echoing rather than.
Yeah, well, it'll deaden the sound waves. So maybe it might make you a little bit quieter in terms of like, that if you're up against a wall, if you had that sound, that soundproofing like right behind the microphone, maybe you're not as loud after it just hits the microphone, and then the sound waves could die right after and maybe don't bounce as much.
Okay.
Yes,
well, that's somewhat helpful, I guess.
I wish there was more I could tell you. And then the other thing I would say, maybe like get like throw like another air, or like there's like some sort of like an area rug or something down that sort of like is going to block the sounds from going down.
Yeah. Okay. So the other question I had is,
that's a bummer to move into a new place and then have a problem like that.
I know. It's like, should I try and like get out of the lease or move somewhere else? I'm not sure yet. But I like the place, but
yeah.
So the other question I had was someone in the patron group about a week ago posted a like hey, we're doing some online Survivor thing. And Jenny and I both thought that it was going to be patrons only, and we signed up for it. And turns out we're the only patrons. Actually, Michael's in it too. We're the only patrons in it. We're seeing if you could give us any advice on how to. We just had our second immunity challenge, seeing if you had any advice for us.
Oh, so you're in an ORG and
Yeah.
you thought it was gonna be only with patrons, it's with the strangers?
Yeah.
Quit, get out. No.
We kind of want to.
Do you have a secret alliance with the patrons?
Yes, we do. We do. We're sharing immunity clues and
Oh boy,
things like
people
that.
are really gonna hate you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I don't have it. I mean, you guys know what to do. I don't have any great advice. Just one other thought with the Skype volume situation. So one of the things that I do, and I should probably be paying more attention to, is that I have a mixer, and you can get like some sort of like a USB mixer that you could use as an input. And what you can do is, if you plug your microphone or plug your headphones into your microphone where you're hearing your own voice back, and hopefully without a delay, I find that I don't talk as loud when I'm hearing my own voice back, because I can hear it. So it sort of keeps me from talking as loud. So you might be able to control the volume that you're talking at. If you're close enough to the microphone, people are still going to be able to hear you. Whereas if you make your microphone hotter and hear yourself in your headphones, maybe you won't talk as loud.
Yeah, I noticed that sometimes I just feel like I talk louder on Skype because I feel like I
You want to project, you want the people to hear you, but if you are able to plug in your headphones into a microphone, you have a USB microphone, or you use a laptop?
I mean, I use a laptop, but I can use a USB microphone if I want to.
Yeah, that might be. I mean, this microphone that we have here is or like this one that we use. This was the Corinne microphone from yesterday. This is an ATR 2100, and it has an XLR input and a USB input, and plus you could plug a headphone into it, and it'll give you like a little bit of your self back into it when you listen through the headphones. That's like what I do on the road. So that might be, something else to try that might be easier than doing a lot of soundproofing, to try something like that.
Okay. So you're saying putting things on the wall doesn't really help?
It's not going to really help, I think, with somebody below you. Like if somebody was if you were having like, I'm getting a lot of like reverb in my room, that might be something. But I think that the soundproofing is more like, or actually, if you're watching the video, like the street that we live on, like there's a lot of this, there could be like a lot of street noise at times. And so I have bought these sound blankets, and I have the sound blankets hanging on the wall to sort of keep the sound in here. But that's more like that for a wall. Like I don't think you could do that for your floor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm wondering if there's like a vent or something that's just going directly to him or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right.
No, I don't know. But I would try the microphone. Maybe if you're not talking as loud, maybe that might be the easiest solution.
Yeah, that would definitely be the easiest solution. It's just a matter of, I like to talk loud, apparently.
Yeah,
So.
but try a microphone that has headphones where you're going to hear yourself a little bit.
Yeah, but otherwise the apartment's been great. I've loved it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, congratulations on the move.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
And good luck in the game.
Yeah. Thanks. We're gonna try.
Okay. All right. Well, take care, Dara.
All right. See you later.
All right. Bye. Okay. Let's go ahead and. All right. Here, let me talk to the birthday guy who is calling in. Okay. Oh wait, hold on. I meant to. I think I unlocked Brendan, but I don't think he even is trying to talk. Let me bring in Scott. Okay. Scott, how are you?
Good, Rob. How are you?
I'm doing okay, Scott. I had all sorts of problems with this video conferencing.
I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry I had to be at a work function to not help you. I felt bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's anything you could have done. It's just they did not like the HD camera footage tonight.
Gotcha. So you're back on a C920 then? Or?
Yeah, 922.
922. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Scott, happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
I was talking about the what a run of podcasts that we had been on this last week.
31 podcasts last week. 31.
Yes. So what an incredible run.
Yes. We can blame Taryn, I think. That's who
yes. Maybe not since the Survivor Second Chance vote have we done so many podcasts.
That was a good time, though. I do remember it was an exciting project to do. So
yes. Would you like to see Survivor do another vote, Scott? Did you like that?
Another vote. Well, if we can, just like Big Brother Canada, if we have a patron or someone from this organization on the show that we can vote on, that was exciting.
Yeah.
So to help Steven get on the show, that was exciting.
I'm
sure you talked about Kirsten enough tonight, but
yes,
yeah, but I'll still mention her too. I'm very excited that a fellow Western Canadian from my hometown of Calgary, where I went to high school, is on the show.
And it's fun that it's Big Brother and we have so much coverage and live feeds, and we can be watching and like talking about like what's going on. Whereas a Survivor is like, okay, then she's gone and we're like, oh, what happened? People like trying to figure out. But this is cool.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah,
it'll be fun. But yeah, no, let's have a vote as long as there's a patron that's in the running.
Okay, well, I don't think that they would do it with new players on a vote for Survivor.
Okay, well, there's a patron or two now that have been, on a reality show. So
sure. Yeah. Scott, did you want to talk about anything in particular? Or you want to bring on another call?
You go right ahead and do what you have to do. For sure.
Okay. Yeah, Scott, I would bring on the video, but I can promote you to, but I was having problems with, I haven't been able to get anybody's video to work, but let me go ahead and let's try Felipe.
Oh, I thought it was completely gone, but
yeah, no, here you are. Felipe, are you there?
Rabasu.
Yes. How are you, Felipe?
Good. How are you?
Yes, very good. What's going on?
Nothing much. Just chilling here on a Tuesday night. You guys started while I was in class, but then class ended, so I.
Okay. On. All right. So here you are, and so what was your question from before?
Oh, no, I was just making. I wanted to know if anyone knows if Kelsey and the Pax Bro are still dating.
I think they're not. I don't know how I know that, but I feel like they're not.
Okay, because that was like a turn of events. She was with Jared, then she was with Phil. She was with Phil, right? Not Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a turn of events.
Yeah, I want to say it was Kirsten that told me that they're not together anymore.
Kirsten with all the tea.
Yeah, I think she might have known that. Because I think my question to her was like, are you gonna exclusively hang out with Big Brother Canada alumni at some point then?
Oh, okay.
And I was asking her who lives near her.
Well, I know she doesn't like Dallas and she doesn't like Dylan, so she won't be hanging out with them.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know exactly who, if there's any like geographic alliances potentially.
Yeah, I'm so excited for her. Like I'm designing T-shirts. Like if we're gonna, her sister's gonna talk to Greg about if BB Kim will let us print T-shirts, but I've been like designing them.
Yeah.
So
it's
exciting.
It's very exciting. It's really cool.
Yeah. But that's not actually why I wanted to call in, since I thought you were going to get a lot of Kirsten calls, even though like I'm obviously excited for her.
Well, listen to the first hour of the show.
Yeah. I wanted to actually talk about the Dr. Mike podcast.
Yes.
Which I'm a big fan of Dr. Mike, and I wasn't expecting that, from the little preview they showed at the end of the finale in May. Like I thought, oh, this guy is going to be like an early boot that they but he has quickly become one of my favorites, from all 500 people who have played.
Yeah.
And I
don't know if he's a good player, but no, he's very fun.
No, but him and I feel like actually casting, especially recently with some of these people, like Brett LaBelle, he's also become one of my favorites. The people that we've found in the last few years, I feel like they've really hit them out of the park the last few seasons with newbies.
Yeah. Well, I just get really excited when there's the show casts people that even if they had no idea what this is or what this, crazy sandbox is that I've created here, but they want to play. They want to come in and it's like, oh, okay, I want to have fun too, as opposed to people that are sort of like, listen, nerds, get over it. Like they want to, call in and joke around and have fun and, do, talk about nonsense. And so, I'm always excited when we have new people to add to that, crazy collection.
Yeah, and it's much better to have Dr. Mike pestering you via calls than Shannon Elkins tweeting at you.
Right. Or the people that want to like, antagonize and, fight with me. That's not appreciated.
Yeah, but
that's not what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Dr. Mike today. Like, it was just like wild. We talked about all sorts of stuff today.
Yeah, we did. We really did. I mean, that Dr. Mike Corinne combo that I dropped on you guys today is that's quite a pairing.
It is indeed. And you could tell Steven was like uncomfortable throughout. Like I could hear the audible awkwardness.
Yes, Steven wanted to pull the ripcord on the get me out of here.
Was it like the first topic though, or was it like 3 topics or 4 topics in that like you started like
Steven was just very clear. He did not want to discuss any aspects of his own personal life in this podcast.
Okay. But like, yeah, I get that. But I actually appreciated how you and Dr. Mike were so like open to the listeners and stuff like that. Like you took us in and let us know. Like, cause I was listening to Shane, cause I love Shane on Max and Corinne's podcast. And he was talking about how authenticity is like the most important thing for his craft. And and that was actually something that like I've noticed with you, that you like throughout the years, you're always open with the patrons about like your life, and like not too much obviously, but like you let us know what's going on.
Well, I just think it's so boring to be like, oh, I'm going to be so guarded about everything. I'm like, okay, I'm going to keep, what? No, who cares? Like, where this is like, this is a fleeting thing. Who knows how long we're going to do this. We're going to get to do this. I think that if, I'm lucky enough people want to listen to this show, the least I can do is, attempt to be interesting.
Yeah. And like, I think I speak for like everyone that like, there's not a fan base if you weren't trying to do this. Like,
like what do we like Jennifer Lawrence here? We're gonna I gotta keep everything very very private. Like even she tells stories that are, although Akiva said she was the worst guest ever on the Mark Maron podcast.
Oh, Akiva.
Yeah. But look, we're lucky enough people are listening to this show. The least we can do is try to be as open as possible.
Yeah. And and then the only other thing that I kind of wanted to touch upon was like the Amazing Race, since like now it's said and done. What are you hoping for like in the future? Are you hoping for an All-Stars or like just
all the last Amazing Race All-Stars was not very good. I hope that they, I in my mind, I think one Amazing Race a season a year would be fine. I think they said they're going to go for 2, but just I loved how they scheduled it this time around, where they did it in the Survivor off season. To me, that makes the most sense. Keep it on 8:00 at night, not on a Friday, and put it in the Survivor time slot when Survivor's not on the air. And I think that that's the way to go.
Yeah, and like, well, the show is like, it grew because of like the interpersonal dynamics. I really did enjoy the Perfect Strangers aspect of 26 and 29. Like, if they want to go back to that, well, I won't complain after giving such.
Yeah, no, that the previous season of The Amazing Race, I liked more than this one. I did like that 29. I thought that was a lot of fun, especially the first half of 29. I thought was really fantastic.
They also had some very absurd moments that season that they didn't really have this season with like Shamir and the trolls.
That was great. Yeah, that was a really fun episode.
That's my favorite Amazing Race thing ever. And like I've watched a few seasons.
Yeah.
But I feel like the most disappointing thing for me, like I was excited for Justin Cody because I did root for them, but like I felt like we were getting so much build up to like Christy Jen win that like I was like, either if they didn't go out 4th or they didn't win, I like since they got like somewhere in the middle, I felt like so unsatisfied with the story.
Yeah. They were very they were a really competitive team, but I just didn't find them super compelling. That they actually had a lot of adversity in that final leg, but I just felt like that they didn't really have a lot of like their story was just like, oh, look how good they are at racing.
Yeah, that's fair. I just felt like from the story we got, like for Big Brother and Survivor, we can understand why people lose, like because of like the jury. But like in Amazing Race, like someone like can have a lucky or like they have like things go everything their way, and then someone can like melt down at the last second. Like, who was it? I'm trying to think. In like Rob and Amber, they were on the plane, like they just had that unlucky break at the end.
Yeah. No, and that's what I really did. I bought into the conspiracy theories that Amazing Race will never let the crossover team win. I really did. And I was proved wrong. That just like Miriam was saying that, too much Spencer Pratt conspiracy theories are no good. And I bought into it and I was wrong.
But apparently there was like, I went back and like did some digging, and there was like some rumors that Cody and Jessica got help from a taxi or something.
I didn't even hear this.
I was like, what happened? Like I don't think it was
How do you get help from a taxi. Like you didn't charge them.
I don't know exactly, but it was like, I think in the Hong Kong leg, there was like I don't know the details.
Oh my God, it's Jody.
It was Jody.
Paul.
As long as be helpful though, is not like the role of a taxi in general, just to be helpful.
Yeah. Well, some taxi drivers on The Amazing Race, they're not helpful.
Yeah.
Would you ever run The Amazing Race if they called?
I really wouldn't want to. What's the point? I'm not going to win The Amazing Race.
I would do it in a second if it was the Canadian one, of course. But
Scott, your microphone seems is very low compared to really? Compared to Felipe.
I'm not sure. Do I have to get closer?
It couldn't hurt.
I'm really close right now.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you said you'd watch the challenge if Jose was on it.
I would definitely. I don't know how long he's going to be on it for, but I'll definitely check it out. More so than Victor and Natalie.
Yeah, well, Victor's gone at this point, but
everybody knows I'm the biggest. Look, I loved the Big Brother 18. I feel that might be an underrated season.
It's actually in the front half with like Bronte and Glenn and Glenn's eggs.
Yeah, it's like the vintage Paul and Jose and the Freakazoids.
And Meech,
Big Meech. Yeah, I think that in hindsight that might be underrated season.
Yeah. Did you get her the James Maslow shirt that she wanted?
I did. I ordered it for her, but it was going to take 2 to 4 weeks for delivery. So be on the lookout. She better post a picture of it when it gets to her.
Maybe she'll give it to Natalie or something.
Maybe.
And ask for her hand in marriage.
Well, I'm sure she'll take a picture of it and be like, at James Maslow, look at me. The
better James.
yes, the better James, the James that doesn't suck. So we will see when it gets to Big Meech. I feel like that James Maslow is somebody that we could probably get for a podcast.
Probably, like
not after I interview Brandy though.
Oh no. Who else do you think you could get? Like, I feel like Shannon would be down unless Evil Dick like
poison the well.
Yeah.
Has she even done the Evil Dick podcast?
I don't know. I stopped checking. He posts too much Kalia in the bathtub.
Yeah, it's too much Kalia in the bathtub and too much of what Nicole Franzel is looking for. I don't know because I'm blocked. I couldn't tell you. But
you're not missing much.
That being said, Omarosa, there was some controversy yesterday with Dalton Ross, where Dalton Ross canceled the interview with Omarosa because the publicist said that she would not do it. They weren't allowed to ask her any political talk. And then Dalton Ross balked. And I saw some people were like mad at Dalton Ross for saying that he big timed Omarosa by then not talking to her if he didn't want to talk politics. So that was a controversy back and forth. So Mike Bloom did get the Omarosa interview. So kudos to
Mike Bloom, Hustler of the Year.
And so good for him with that. And I'm not sure, look, I think that if, the problem is just going to be, we're going to get so much into Survivor. I get the sense that maybe like if we really were on it, we could, track down a Marissa. I don't see any reason why Ross wouldn't do it if we were, really made an effort to try to get him.
Ariana. No.
I just who knows how to get a hold of her?
She was such a surprise though.
Yeah.
So many people wrote her off in the beginning. Like I did too, and she was a gamer. She was there to play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
she was good. I just don't know where does she go after this?
Probably to Steve Harvey's house. I don't know.
Got you to Steve Harvey's house. Okay.
Yeah. Well, this has been fun, Rob.
Always a pleasure, Felipe.
Have a good night.
Okay. All right. Take care, buddy. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. All right. And then I got one other person on hold, Scott. Actually, no, two other people on hold. Okay. Well, Cam just snuck in.
Tonight, I tell you.
What's that?
Very fast patron cast tonight. Very fast.
I mean, I'm more like 2.5 hours in here.
I'm joking because I just showed up, right?
All right. Let's go to Timmy. Timmy.
Can you hear me?
Yes. How are you doing, buddy?
Hey, how's it going?
Very good.
I'm a patron as of 5 days ago, so all this is
welcome aboard. Yes.
Yeah.
And what you want to talk about, Dr. Mike?
Well, yeah, that's one thing. I don't know. You always joke about how you have no friends and whatever and funny stuff like that, but Mike seems to really be on you, calling you and texting you every would you say you guys are pretty good friends at this point?
Yeah, no, I would consider Mike a good friend. I joke around about I have
yeah.
I have a lot of people in the Survivor world who I consider to be friends, but I don't have best friends that is I get very jealous of people that they have a lifelong friend that they can count on through thick and thin. I just feel like I don't really have that. I have Nicole. She's always gonna be there. I have my immediate family. My brother is great, and I have my kids, but I don't really have just a friend who other than Scott, who is just there for me no matter what.
Yes, almost 6 years now. 6 years.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I got that. I actually wanted to talk about one other thing though. So listening to last year's preseason stuff, you pretty much hit on the head that Katrina was the first boot. And so I want to know from you, I think this cast is a lot harder to predict in that sense, but of the two boots, who do you think will not make it through the premiere episode if you had to pick somebody?
Well, I've said that I thought that Stephanie Johnson was my one person on the
Malolo.
Malolo. And if I had to pick somebody on Naviti,
I don't know. You seem to like Angela, right? But I guess she is the older person there. But
tough. I think it's going to be somebody who's an asset. I mean, to me, I always feel like that the person who
maybe more like a Chelsea or
there's 3 reasons why you could get voted out first on Survivor. It's one, you are some sort of a social outcast. You're not getting along with anybody. 2, you are some sort of physical outcast, think like a Sonia or somebody who's just holding the tribe back. Sometimes those 2 things are end up being the same, where in Gabon, what's the name of the girl that Kenny had the crush on, that was she was a social outcast and she was bad in the challenges. And then you have the third thing where it's like the Zane, where you are you play too hard too fast and everybody is
the specialist.
Yes. Yeah, you got to get rid of that person first. So I think that those are basically the 3 buckets of okay, oh, this person made a power play and it didn't work and we're going to get rid of them. So obviously, Katrina was that, Sierra, when she got voted out first, was some version of that. Trying to think of some of the other recent first boots. I feel like that Darnell was probably none of the, I guess there's also the thing that you could just be a threat, but I think that the 6-person tribes get a little wonky with the first boots.
And I guess your point is that there's not really a social outcast that's super visible. Maybe Stephanie Johnson, but everyone's well-rounded enough to where it could be sort of more random.
Yeah, I think on Naviti, if I had to think of somebody who could go out first, I'd have to
I don't know.
look at that tribe.
Naviti seems like the stronger physical tribe if I had to guess.
Yeah, if I had to pick one tribe is going to flame out, I would say that I think it would be more Malolo. To me, I think looks like the tribe that would flame. Like Chris, I think, is a possibility of somebody who could just get on everybody's. And Kellen, who's my winner pick, I think is somebody who
the physical part.
Yeah, she could if she holds them back in the challenge. Chelsea, I think, also has the potentially if she doesn't get along with the group.
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely hard to predict.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's those would be my potential picks to not go out.
Do you feel good about Laurel?
Yeah, I don't see any. I mean,
you don't think she's gonna try to outplay at the beginning or like overplay at the beginning?
I mean, I don't see any red flags with her. You know, Corinne on her bio wasn't that exciting, but I feel like that overall, I mean, I feel like that she's a triple threat. I feel like that everybody seemed like they liked her. She seemed like she's good in the challenges. She knows the game. So I don't see the downside.
Yeah, I agree.
So I feel good, about her going in.
I'll say maybe Gonzalez just because people don't seem to love her in the pregame press, and if I had to guess one way, maybe her.
Yeah, I hope she can win people over. I thought she was really fun.
I mean, I feel good about her.
People.
Yeah, I don't know.
Timmy, where are you calling from?
Chicago, the northwest suburbs of Chicago, so Arlington Heights. Yeah.
All right, cool. Kellen was at the RahapCon Chicago.
Oh yeah, so that was like 2 summers ago.
Yeah.
I remember that being a thing. Spencer?
Yeah. Well, Spencer was there. I'm not sure if she came to the panel, but because nobody seems to recognize her from the panel, but she did come to the I guess the arcade night. But that was where Rourke was at the panel.
Okay. Yeah, I was not as privy to all that. I was listening to the podcast back then, but I wasn't as involved as I am now, I guess.
Yes. Okay. Well, now you've wised up.
Yeah. Now I'm ready to go.
Yeah. Okay. What made you decide to come on at this point in time?
It was honestly just you talking the first part of your Malolo Cash preview with Nicole. You just said a
lot of stuff. We're doing a lot of stuff.
It's a good time to join. So
yeah. I try not to. I never know what the right thing to say is because I try not to oversell it. Because people are like, all right, Rob, we get it. But
and I was already thinking about it, and it was just like, okay, let's do it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, I always like to hear like what was it that I said that worked.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay. You enjoying it so far? So far,
yeah.
So good?
No, it's I already watched all the Rahap episodes.
Yes,
those are really cool.
Yeah, I've got another one that should be
okay. You have something in the works?
Yes, dropping soon about how we're working on the casting for this season for the booking.
Okay, that's cool. I'm looking forward to it then.
Yeah. So, and I feel badly that we have not done a lot of Rahap episodes lately, but I have a new, hopefully I want to try to get back to the point where if not like one a week, then one every 10 days or so. I really want to try to get back to, getting those out more regularly because I think those are a lot of fun.
Yeah, they are. They probably take a good amount of work to produce all that footage and everything.
Yeah, it's it's more like sort of just like breaking, like figuring out okay, rather than just like try to follow around aimlessly,
what's the subject of the video?
What's the story they were trying to capture? And if you guys had ideas, especially in the Rahapisode Facebook group, let us know the things that you want us to capture. I always try to say okay, what are the things that are sort of born out of the 5 for 5 that now we can take? Okay, here's something that we're talking about in the studio, and now let's show that thing that we're let's tell that story in on the Rahapisode. So it's when we have the idea that it's easy to come together. I think that sometimes we get stuck on what are the ideas that we want to try to capture.
Yeah. No, it's definitely probably my favorite spot of just you really see the personal family, family aspect of your life. It's cool.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, and it's a very personal project to me because I feel like that this is like a very surreal thing. I love this thing that I get to do and come on here and talk to you guys, and then also then I go downstairs, and then there's this whole other part of my life which ends up bleeding into the show. But I think it's always fun when I get to like turn the camera around and be able to show just how closely like my two worlds end up being intertwined, where I'm doing these shows in here in the studio, but then sometimes there's like a 2-year-old like pulling on the wires like when there's not a show happening.
As long as Nicole's in the mood to have a camera in her face.
Right. Sometimes she's like, I don't know,
the timing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
We're gonna try to like set up like a regular time to try to shoot more stuff.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay, David, great talking to you, buddy.
Yeah, it was nice talking to you.
Okay. All right. Take care.
All right. See you.
All right. And then he got in right here at the end. Hold on. I want to just okay, here is Cam. Cam, are you there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes. How you doing, buddy?
Okay. Doing pretty good.
Yes. Okay. Cam, you seem a little low also.
I just started yelling instead.
Scott is yelling. No, Timmy was loud. Timmy was loud.
Yeah, Tim was a little loud. Yeah. But good. He was excellent.
Yes. Okay. Cam, what's going on, buddy?
I just got off work. I didn't think I was going to make it.
Yes. Okay. So here you are. What do you want to talk about?
I don't know have you been talking about. I'm trying not to talk about the same things everyone else was talking about. What do you think about tomorrow night for the premiere for Survivor?
I'm excited. I'm interested to see what's going. Like, I'm a little like I didn't watch the first 4 minutes. I am a little bit, wondering why. So we have 2 hours back to back instead of like a 90-minute premiere. I get the sense that maybe the first boot was not super exciting, but maybe the second boot is, or maybe hopefully the second hour is is more exciting, so that's why they're giving us 2 hours on the first show as opposed to one extended episode. So that's my thought going into night 1 of Survivor Ghost Island.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty bullish on this season. Like I at first I was kind of like, I think the twist could ruin the season potentially, because I feel like it's going to be so twist heavy.
Mm-hmm.
It may screw over a player that maybe would have won in a typical season.
Yeah. No, I don't. I mean that we'll see what's going to happen. But I think that the thing that I know a lot of people are sort of skittish about, Jeff Probst got a tweet. Jeff Probst was very active on Twitter this week, and he got a tweet that was basically like, "Hope you guys don't do a lot of twists this season." And he wrote back, "Too late." So
yeah, hilarious.
We'll see. So look, it should be a fun ride one way or the other. And it's like somebody gets screwed over here in the first time season. It's not like, you guys ruined it, but you ruined Cerie's chance to win. It's like, if Morgan Ricky gets screwed over by too many twists, I think it's like, good. At least give her a reason to come back.
Right. Yeah.
As opposed to you blew it, Cerie was going to win.
And I think that actually helps like people that get screwed over with twists and stuff, because I feel like their arc is not finished, so they can build onto that, while someone who played a full game.
Bring Jessica Lewis back.
Yeah.
So that they have a story.
Yeah.
They can go to Ghost Island now. Actually,
it would have been a great twist if they would have just put it under wraps, if they would have brought back players that maybe got screwed off, over, and then, and kind of had a redemption island type thing with players.
Well, screwed over by a twist, I think is definitely an option for a returning player season if they ever wanted to go in that direction.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah. So we'll see. Scott, do you get up for the Survivor episodes? I feel like that are you like more lukewarm on Survivor these days?
No, since hanging out with you, I've become way more into Survivor than I used to be, that's for sure. So
okay.
I get excited by it. I mean, and actually, I'm probably less excited by Big Brother than I used to be, because, of course, we met because of Big Brother.
Yes.
My love for Big Brother, but you know, I don't want to say it again, but having someone from our own community in the show,
you'll be pumped up.
Pumped, and I hope everyone else is too.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait to see all you guys now, like hoping for. Oh, I hope that they do some more public voting this season. Now,
Oh,
man. Now everybody loves. Oh, I hope there's so many public votes, so that we can help Kirsten.
Absolutely.
Right. And I think, like, I would be nervous. Like, we talked about this the other day. I'd be nervous, like, thinking about it, like, being on a show like that. And then, you know, the social media, like, you know, people are, like, there was people that either loved Kirsten or hated Kirsten, like, on Twitter, Reddit, all that stuff. It was crazy.
Yeah, no, I was talking about this earlier, that I really, I just regret that people will be, you know, out for her on social media because she's associated with the podcast. Like,
right.
that's I just think that's like, I don't want to put that on her.
Yeah. So it'd be even crazier whenever there is someone like on the U.S. show, because that's a way bigger show than, you know.
Cam, that you're that's on you.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
Yeah, we really haven't ever had that with the Big Brother US. I think it's Steve Moses, I think, was you know, at least you talked about it a little tiny bit, and I think that Cameron was going to be our guy, but he ultimately you know, and he was like more of a casual RHAP fan.
Yeah, I mean, this is gonna be. I mean, I'm real nervous about the whole thing, because I was like, I'm prepared for it, but I'm like, man, on Sunday, like, I feel like it could go either way, you know.
This Sunday?
Yeah, this Sunday.
Okay.
The casting call. Yeah.
All right, just get ready. You know, Corinne was talking about Four Loko last night. Get like you know, get one of your, you know, hot peppers ready, and you know, energy drink, and just be off the wall.
Right.
Yeah. Like, you think about yelling in the diary room.
Yeah, not be a Joe. Don't be a Joe, but yeah, that.
Look, he got on the show.
Yeah, Chef Joe. Yeah, he was just yelling the whole time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. All right, Cam, anything else going on?
Oh,
what's the next stunt?
I was actually about to ask you or Scott St. Pierre, like, what should I do next? Like, because I have a couple different ideas, but I kind of want your input. Like, what should I do?
Scott, do you have any thoughts on what a hot food could Cam eat next on YouTube?
Hot food. What are the options? Can I pick from a list? That might be.
Oh yeah, America's Choice.
What are the?
So we were thinking about doing where we cook like something, like make like, you know, like a burger, right? And we just put like all the hottest stuff in it. Like we fix a regular burger, and then at the end we show them, okay, we're gonna eat this burger. But then we put a twist, like, okay, forget this burger. We're going to put all this hot stuff, mix it in the burger, and then eat that burger, you know, and, you know, probably kill ourselves just concocting something that probably is completely disgusting. We thought about doing that. Or we thought about, like, finding some person that will, like, pay them to, like, hey, you know, can you make this, whatever
Yeah, why don't you ask the people that watch the YouTube videos?
Yeah, put up a poll.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
Taryn could put up a poll for you, maybe.
You get Taryn's poll up.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask Taryn. I'm gonna see what should I eat next.
I think no matter what you do, I envision you sitting at a picnic table in a public location with lots of people just reacting to your sweating, and as you eat this hot item, you know, hamburger or whatever. I think that would be interesting for people to see, is the horror and awe of you know.
You call it like a cam burger, though.
Yeah. Cam burger.
Yeah.
Make it like a little event, like, hey, you know.
Yeah.
Watch us kill ourselves here.
Yeah. Do you have to eat it in a certain amount of time?
No. Maybe we can do that too. I don't know.
Okay. Everything's on the table.
Yeah, like I said, we're just trying to figure some new ideas, because we're doing everything too fast. Like, we didn't realize we were going to be doing all this stuff.
You're blowing through all the gold.
Yeah, all the good stuff. Because we saw there was like the world's hottest like ice cream. We saw that.
Yeah.
And then there was also, man, what was another one? World's hottest beef jerky. That was another one. and then there was the world's hottest beer, which I don't get why that would be crazy because beer's cold. So why would that be hot?
Well, that's I think people would be curious.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Cam. Enjoy. Don't hurt yourself. Okay.
I'll try not to.
Yeah. All right. You take care, buddy.
Yep.
All right.
Bye.
All right. And then we got one other caller who snuck in here. Jennifer. Jennifer is using a older version. Okay, so I have to make her a panelist to allow her to talk. Okay. Jennifer. Okay, let's see if we get her as a panelist. Jennifer, are you there?
Takes a second, yeah.
Yes. Jennifer. She might have to turn her mic on.
Possibly.
Okay.
Bottom left.
Yes. Okay. We'll see. We'll see if we can get that working. Otherwise, Scott.
Yes.
No, I think that that is about it. Did you make a birthday wish?
A birthday wish. No, I made a birthday commitment that I could publicly state it so that everyone can keep me on track.
Accountable. Okay, what is
Accountable is I was working out fairly well in the fall and towards Christmas. Everything was going well. Since the new year started not so well. And but I've signed up to run a road race in Chicago.
Wow.
On the 21st of July. It's only
Okay.
5K. Don't go crazy, people. It's only
Yeah.
5K, but so my goal is to survive the 5K in Chicago on July 3rd, 21st. So I need to get ready for that.
Okay. Well, we got a lot of runners out there.
Here we go.
Yeah.
There we go. So
okay.
But that's about that's the exciting thing I did. So,
Yeah, but that's good. So what are you gonna do? Work your way up? Do treadmill?
Well, yeah, I need to get my treadmill tuned up. It's really makes a lot of noise here, but I could use the treadmill at the gym too. So they have many of them. So
okay.
But
all right.
But then as soon as the snow's gone out on the actual road, because it makes a world of difference to actually be running on the actual ground than on the treadmill, because the ground is moving for you on the treadmill. It makes it much easier, gives you a false sense of how fast you can actually run.
Yeah.
Jennifer left us. It looks like Jennifer left.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. I guess it wasn't working.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
All right. Well, Scott, on that note, I think then we will shut it down. Let me save some voice for tomorrow night, the 2-hour Survivor premiere. It's
Does
all
that mean
happening.
we get a 2-hour podcast as well? Is that how that
No,
works?
we never were quite like double the length on these things. We'll probably maybe like 10 minutes longer than a regular one. It's funny how that works that way. But then we just really don't talk about the boring stuff.
For sure.
The jam-packed, dense podcast. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody that called in. Happy birthday again, Scott St. Pierre.
Thank you very much.
Okay. And then we'll be back with the Patron 5 for 5 coming up next week and get back on our regular Facebook Friday schedule coming up on Friday, and enjoy all the podcasts this week. Happy Survivor premiere, and take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.